Okay, now I'm in the right place. Okay. Thanks for joining me, guys, in my kitchen. It's Kitchen Court Cases. I am back with another lovely billion things to do. But I have a funny clip that I think you guys will appreciate that is, I don't know how to put it. I want to hear what you guys think first before we decide. So let's get that one going. Just give me one momento because I've changed up my sources. So did you go over there? Well, I tricked myself because I clicked the wrong button. That was totally me, Michelle. I totally did it wrong. So that was all me all the way. I'm still not very good at learning all those things. We'll just change it to the full screen capture instead of the other one. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today so far. I really do. Okay, beautiful. So firstly, it's not a detention docket. This is, what court is this? This is Texas. We know it's got Texas. But we do, did you hear me, Michelle, say, oh, and then leave? Yeah, I've been worried about everybody and the tornadoes, so I really, really hope that everybody's doing well. This reason I grabbed this here episode, well, let's call it that, is because I don't even know how to explain it. We all know how important interpreters are. We all know how important that people understand the proceedings that they are facing. And so it's a really important thing that people understand this. So what we have here is we have an interpreter down here at the bottom, Holly, but the judge decides partway through that she could do the interpreting, no problem. So let's just see how this goes and what ends up happening. I'm glad to hear that everybody seems to be safe. I'm sorry, Lisa, about people in the theater collapse. That's horrible. Hopefully we can have a good night tonight and everybody's safe. So, all right, let's check this out.
You still got a ways. I don't know even if his wife controls the business. And then if those businesses, let's say, for example, the difference between the gross on the businesses minus their W-2s, I think you need to, I guess, the evidence on whether there's any business deductions to get to a net. I don't know that you can do that all today, but you may want to interpret that, Ms. Holly, real quick.
Of course. Menciona la juez que hay todavía un poco de problemática para resolver los cálculos, porque la juez necesita tener las cantidades netas de los ingresos que usted recibe. Sin embargo, como existen estos negocios, por el momento no hay manera de enterarse de cuál es la porción de interés que usted tiene. Entonces, quizás su abogado que tenga que averiguar con la Secretaría del Estado acerca de los certificados de información de las sociedades o algo por el estilo para determinar qué parte de los ingresos de los negocios le corresponden a usted y cuántas deducciones tuvieron por gastos de los negocios. Todo eso duda la juez que se pueda resolver hoy.
Now, because Ms. Holly has to log off, Mr. Ramos, are you able to do all that today and I can have Chayo get somebody else?
I could try. I don't know how quickly the Secretary of State can give me the certificates of formation and who's on them. Yes.
Pregunta a la juez si el licenciado Ramos estaría listo para seguir presentando pruebas hoy mismo. Él menciona que no está muy seguro porque no sabe en cuánto tiempo podría sacar los documentos de la Secretaría del Estado.
All right, Ms. Florisol Martinez, are you I understood your question. He was in his W-2, he was showing that he only makes 4,798. But the businesses on their income tax return are showing like around 57,000. And so are you saying that that's the income that we should set child support at?
Y señora Martínez, la juez entendió la pregunta de usted. Como su W2 del señor tiene una cantidad de ingresos de 4,798. Sin embargo, en las declaraciones de impuestos tiene que los negocios están ganando alrededor de $57,000. Lo que usted piensa es que se deba calcular la cantidad de manutención abajo de esa cantidad.
Sí, señora juez, porque yo pienso que es un ingreso de los dos, están casados y es, bueno, es 50 y 50, ¿verdad? Pero es un ingreso de él también, o sea, es dinero que él tiene.
Yes, Your Honor, because I believe since they're married, I understand that it's 50-50, but that is income that he has also.
Okay, what we're gonna have to do, Ms. Martinez, though, is I don't think we can do that today. And I have to schedule another interpreter, but they haven't shown me. They have to show me that that income, or you have to show me that that income, half of it or some of it belongs to him. So we do need to come back for that, okay?
Bueno, yo entiendo esto. Vamos a tener que programar otro intérprete y de todas formas, o ellos o usted me tienen que demostrar la cantidad de esos ingresos que le correspondan a él. ¿Se entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, so I think we can come back on, and thank you, Ms. Holly. I think I can do the reset date in Spanish.
Okay, may I be excused in that case, Judge?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Martínez, nomás le voy a dar otra fecha, ¿ok? Porque sí entendí la posición que usted tiene. La posición que usted tiene es tocante los ingresos de esos negocios, ¿verdad?
Ujú.
Ok, entonces me tienen que dar un poquito más información. Yes, Mr. Ramos.
Yeah, no,
Okay, I think we're already full for
Pues, una pregunta. Entonces, el return no es suficiente evidencia de que él posee más cantidad.
No.
No.
Todo lo que dice el income tax return es que archivaron juntos. Que archivaron juntos él y la esposa. Y la ley no me deja, no puedo calcular child support en la cantidad de ella. No me permite la ley que cuando estoy figurando el income de él, el sueldo de él, y ponerlo para child support, no puedo yo usar los ingresos de ella.
Pero los ingresos del negocio.
Sí, pero ahorita no me están diciendo qué tanto de esos 60 son ingresos del negocio neto, porque el child support se calcula, no, how do you say gross, child? En
Monto. Bruto.
Monto, bruto, ok. Y todo lo que me está haciendo el income tax return me lo está dando bruto, y luego ellos calcularon en el income tax return, le pusieron, how do you say deductions?
Deducciones.
Deducciones de los gastos del negocio. So en IRS los permita usar deducciones y luego llegan a un neto. Pero lo de ese neto.
We're going to pause it for a sec, let it buffer up, catch up, do all the good things. The reason that I picked this one is because the judge was totally like, yeah, there's no problem. And maybe she does. But then she's asking about what the words are, which I think is sort of not really the ideal situation, to be honest. And that's really why I thought it was interesting. Let's hit play again. The rest of everything else that I've got loaded up is not in Chrome. I don't have any Chrome windows going. I've closed almost everything out. So hopefully it should be working, but let's see if we can finish a little bit of that. But that's what I really thought was interesting. She says, "Oh, you can go to the interpreter lady," and then she's asking how to interpret.
Como es un negocio que eran de los dos, me tienen que dar un poquito más información. Pues yo me supongo que lo que sobra neto de los negocios es 50-50. Pero como el negocio es una corporación existe como un, how do you say entity?
Entidad.
Entidad separada. Está protegida, es como entidad separada, pero los documentos que se archivan en Austin me van a decir quiénes son los oficiales de la corporación y todo. Yo nomás necesito que llegara a un neto. Y la intérprete, se me acabó el tiempo. So vamos a tener que regresar para que el intérprete, vamos a tener que determinar de los negocios cuántas ganancias eran neto y luego una porción de eso se le va al señor Villasaña. Y las deducciones, se me hace que sí estaban en el income tax return, las deducciones.
That's pretty much it. We caught what I was meaning to catch there, which is it's unusual for me for a judge to want to take, the opportunity to be the Spanish translator. Yeah, it was just a really odd situation that I was like, weird. Anyways, let us go to the next one. Give me one momento. If I know my Spanish at all, which I don't. I failed Spanish. We've talked about that multiple times. But let us do this here. I would also like everyone to remember how they're doing today. Are you level 1-0 in the chat? I would love to know that. I am definitely a level 1-0. But let's just see how the kids are doing today. There we go. Okay. Let's see if this goes better. Like I said, I'm not using Chrome. Level 2. Level 3? Oh no, you guys, you gotta be better than that. Lisa, 75. That's crazy. Okay, let's see if I got this one going. Hopefully it works as steady as can be. And yeah, let's get going. Also, can we just admire the turkey behind Ray Hall down here? That is, a turkey looks bigger than him. You really put that backdrop on Ray? It is. Oh my god.
Good morning, everyone. These are the detention hearings for the 323rd Judicial District Court of Tarrant County, Texas, the designated juvenile court for Tarrant County. The Texas Supreme Court, in cooperation with guidance provided by the Office of Court Administration in its 24th emergency order, has continued its order that all Texas courtrooms be closed to the general public. However, in keeping with the spirit of the open courts provision of the Texas Constitution, these hearings are being broadcast live on YouTube. Anyone who may be watching, rebroadcasting, or recording part or all of these hearings is expressly forbidden. Violation of the court's order may subject you to civil and/or criminal contempt proceedings. All right, are you Kwame Bolden?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bolden, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing to determine whether you should be released from detention or remain in detention. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Hall, is here. All right, Mr. Jones, what brings Mr. Bolden to court today?
Can you hear me okay, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
All right. On 8/31/2020, Fort Worth PD was dispatched with a service call at the Save-A-Lot at 4621 East Lancaster. Save-A-Lot reported that Kwame Bolden, who has a previous criminal trespass at Save-A-Lot, was on the premises. Upon arriving at Save-A-Lot, Fort Worth PD located Kwame standing in the alley beside the Save-A-Lot. Officer E. Moore informed Kwame that the police had been called because Kwame had been spotted on the premises and he knew he was not supposed to be there. Kwame told Officer Moore that he was not at Save-A-Lot and that he was at the store next door. Save-A-Lot security guard Edward Lee showed Officer Moore the surveillance footage of Kwame walking around in front of the store. At this point, Kwame was placed under arrest for criminal trespass and transported to the Juvenile Justice Center.
And he's on felony probation?
Correct. He's on probation for indecent assault.
And did he ever give a UA?
Yes, he did. He gave the UA after court, and he did test positive for marijuana.
Oh. And he's level 1-0 as of 3 days ago?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Hall, what are your thoughts?
I'll leave it to your discretion, Judge. I know he's wanting to get out. I haven't been able to talk to Mom or anybody on the case yet, so I'll leave it to your discretion.
Mr. Jones, does he have a parent or guardian here today?
I'm not seeing them on, Your Honor. They were given the link to get on the Zoom, and I spoke with them this morning, and I'm not seeing them on here. So I don't think they're on.
James Bolden or Ms. Thompson, are you here? All right. All right, Kwame. I don't have a parent to release you to. You're also on felony probation. You're at 1-0 now. I want you to keep level 1-0 and maintain it for 5 more business days. And Mr. Hall, if he's at level 1-0 Wednesday of next week, you can request a special hearing and we'll consider his release then.
Okay, Judge.
All right. But that's probably going to be at Judge Kim's discretion. And it's not a guarantee that you'll get out, but you need to maintain level 1-0. All right, Kwame?
Yes, sir.
All right. That'll be the order of the court. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey. Mr. Chavez.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Chavez, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days. This is your 10-day hearing to determine whether you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Beaver, is here. Do you see Mr. Beaver on the screen?
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Rodriguez, yeah, Kareem's back. All right, what brings Mr. Chavez back to court?
He was referred in custody on August 31st for evading arrest. Police had seen two individuals checking parked car handles at 4 in the morning. The individuals were walking in the roadway where there was a sidewalk present. The police put a spotlight on them and they took off running. A short time later, they were detained using Air One. The companion is an adult. Leonardo told police that when he saw the police, he got scared and ran. The other suspect admitted they were in the car that was dumped around the area. Officers had attempted a traffic stop on the vehicle. It had several tools and other items in it, along with 3 cell phones. Video surveillance showed 3 suspects, and both the adult and Leonardo checking the handles and entering vehicles. The case remains pending with the DA's office. He was positive for marijuana when he came in. We completed a hair follicle test on Monday. We just haven't gotten the results back yet. At intake, mom did report having problems with Leonardo, that he comes and goes as he pleases. She thought he might be selling drugs, and she had found a dagger in his room.
Found what?
A dagger.
Can you repeat it one more time? My internet connection is a little unstable.
A dagger.
Okay. And she found that where?
In his room.
Okay.
And he's currently on level 2.
Oh, okay. Mr. Beaver, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, I know that he wants to go home. I believe that his mother's ready for him to go home. And of course, I know that we'd be in a stronger position if he were at level 1-0. And I don't know if the court would allow us to request a special setting if he shows that he's able to maintain 1 outstanding for several days.
All right, Mr. Chavez, you've been in detention for, let's see, 16 calendar days, 11 business days. By now, you should have gotten to level 1-0. All right, that indicates to me you might have had a hiccup or 2 in the back, and you're not yet ready to follow the rules. If you're not ready to follow the rules in the back, how can I expect you to? How can I believe that you'll follow the rules at home? You understand?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Beaver has a good point, though. You get to level 1-0, you maintain it for 5 business days, and then Mr. Beaver can come back and ask me to reconsider this, and we'll evaluate it then. But you got to get to level 1-0, you got to maintain it for 5 business days. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's going to be the order of the court. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Beaver.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dietrich.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dietrich, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. You also have the right to an attorney. Mr. Lofton is here. He is your attorney. Do you see him on the screen?
Good morning.
All right, is Ms. Hall here?
Yes, sir, I am here, and Grandma is here, but she said she can't get her camera to connect.
All right, Ms. Hall, what brings Mr. Dietrich to court today?
This is a 10-day detention hearing. He came in for an out of custody on September the 1st after he was unsuccessfully discharged from the care house, which violated his conditions of release. Judge Kim had released him to go into residential treatment at the care house in the middle of August. He was detained at the out of custody. He is set for court on October the 6th. He is scheduled for a psychological evaluation on Sunday the 20th. The department's request is that he be detained until after his psychological evaluation and then be allowed to go home on the monitor with grandma pending his court hearing on October the 6th so that he can continue his outpatient treatment through MHMR with his therapist.
And
Whoa,
Mr.
whoa,
Lawson,
whoa,
what are your
whoa.
thoughts?
Excuse, Judge Porter, hold on for a minute. What in the heck does Mr. Lofton have beside him, guys? Seriously, you have to watch down here. I want you to be watching. First of all, it's too high up to be a dog, right? Like, what is going on here? I want you to keep a very close watch on this, Mr. Lofton down here, and tell me what this is.
Judge, I would defer to the court on this. We would ask the recommendations of the Community Supervision Department.
All right, Mr. Dietrich.
Yes, sir.
You're level 1A acceptable, right?
Yes, sir.
What can you do to get to level 1O?
Well, I know the fact that I am a 1A is because I was talking when I wasn't supposed to yesterday. And I mean, like, I know that's not allowed here. So from now on, I'm just going to keep my comments to myself whenever
There you go. All right. I need you to get to level 1O and hold it for me. And that way, after you finish your psychological evaluation, Mr. Lofton will be in the absolute best position to argue for your release on the electronic monitor, okay?
All right.
All right, that'll be the order of the court. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Thank you so much, Mr. Lofton.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Mr. Evans. You missed, well, come on. Internet's running. Are you Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Evans, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. You also have the right to an attorney. Is Mr. Green here?
No, Your Honor. No, he, when I sent him the detention hearing report, he said he was in other hearings and he needed someone to cover for him and he was going to notify the court.
All right, I was about to get to that. So I think, let's see. Chief is not here and Larry is gone. So Ms. Herrick, can you jump in?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Mr. Evans, you have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Green, can't be here, so Ms. Herrick is going to fill in for your attorney for purposes of this hearing. Mr. Victorson, what brings Mr. Evans back to court?
Your Honor, he was referred in custody by the Fort Worth Police Department on August the 31st. They charged him with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and evading arrest or detention with a vehicle. According to the police report, the victim contacted police and reported that he had been carjacked a couple of days before, and he had observed his vehicle parked in a convenience store parking lot, I believe it was. He contacted the police and they arrived, and he said that the person driving his car or truck went into the convenience store and was still in there. When the young man came out of the car, out of the building, the convenience store, he got into the car and drove away. Police followed, and the driver had just kind of drove at a slow rate of speed until it got to an apartment complex and then accelerated rapidly through the apartment complex, crashing into a car and then the exit fence before coming to a stop. There were some evasion techniques afterwards. At one point, he made a U-turn, but finally came to a stop. Police apprehended the suspect. Zarin was the only person in the car, And police verified that the victim gave no one permission to drive his car. He has no other history, Your Honor.
All right, give me just a little bit.
May I ask Dana a question, Your Honor?
Go ahead, Miss Herrick. I didn't need a minute.
No problem. Dana, did he make any statements about where he got the car from?
No, it wasn't in the police report anywhere.
Okay, okay.
It doesn't tie him specifically to the robbery of the car.
Okay, okay.
That's what I was wondering.
Me too.
Do we know if a firearm was found in the car?
Not that I know of, Your Honor.
Okay. Does he have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes.
Is that Miss Keeling?
Yes.
Miss Keeling, first of all, does your son have a driver's license?
No, we're working on that now.
So what's going on with here? Does it make sense that he would be out at 12:30 in the afternoon, driving a car if he doesn't have a driver's license?
He didn't have to work. He normally goes with his stepdad, but he didn't have to work. And
we just know that he been looking for a car to purchase. So when we saw him in the car, we thought he purchased it with the $500 he had. But
he had been saving. So it's news, you know, but I don't know. It's very unlike him, you know.
I'm sorry, my internet connection here in the courtroom's a little unstable. Can you repeat that last couple of sentences for me?
It's just, yeah, it's unlike this it's not in his character, you know, and.
But before that, about the $500, that's what I didn't hear.
We've been saving up for a car. We thought he had actually purchased the car. So I'm not sure what happened between that and
Okay, I just got to step in here for a quick second. If your kid steals a car before he has a license, when somebody asks you if that kid has a license, you don't say that you're working on that with a giggle. You say, no, he's never getting a license till he's 18 because he just lost that privilege. Anyways, for the for the levels in the back go level 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the best, 3 being the worst, and then outstanding, acceptable or unacceptable, or confined. So it's just a running joke with all of us that we sort of say what our level is, how we're feeling for that day. I think this is a case where the parents are going to get him in trouble more than he is. They're making excuses for him. This is the wrong place to do that. We all know that. Anyways, let's continue on and see what he says. But that's my opinion. Like, I don't understand parents that like allow their kids that don't have licenses to drive. Like, there would be no real question in my mind. Like, it's a laughable request. Oh, you want to drive? Well, that's too bad. You're not old enough. Anyways, maybe that's just me, but let's continue.
what's going on now.
Okay. Still doesn't make sense that he'd be driving if he doesn't have a valid driver's license, right?
No, right. That's what we're working on, the driver's ed. We're, trying to get to that point.
It sounds like he may have jumped the gun. Best case scenario is that's what happened, is he jumped the gun. If I were to release him to you today, what kind of restrictions are you going to put on him?
In the house, strictly to work if he can with his stepdad. That's and schoolwork. He goes to school online for a private school, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm at home, all the time.
And where does he work with stepdad?
I do construction.
All right. And what kind of work does he do on construction site?
We building houses, redo walls, fences, land clearing, all kinds of things.
Is it new home construction or rehab?
We rehab and do new home.
Okay. Mr. Victorson, how long has he been on level 1-0?
Since September the 3rd, Your Honor. That was the first day he could get it, as far as I can tell.
All right. Mr. Evans, I'm going to authorize your release. I am going to release you, though, on the electronic monitor. That is going to be a challenge for him to be able to work with the electronic monitor. So here's what we're going to do. For the first 2 weeks, he gets to stay at home. No going to work with stepdad. And as long as he is obeying mom and stepdad's rules at home, then stepdad, you can talk to Mr. Victorson about allowing exceptions for Mr. Evans to go to the work site with you during the day. But I want him those first 2 weeks to prove to mom and stepdad that he's going to follow the rules at home. Okay.
All right. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Anything else for me to decide?
No.
All right. That'll be the order of the court.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank
Of course, it helps if I sign the right order. You as we go. Okay. All right, are you Mr. Fuller?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fuller, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Mr. Daniel is your attorney. He was here earlier. There he is. All right. Ms. Blair, what brings Mr. Fuller back to court?
Your Honor, he was brought in on August 18th on a directive to apprehend electronic violation issued by Judge Kim. He was released from detention on August 4th on the electronic monitor. And then on August 16th, around 13:20 hours, detention intake received the electronic monitor tamper alert. Detention intake officer contacted the mother to confirm. The mother stated she was at work and could not confirm. So they dispatched the police to the home. Officer advised that the front door was slightly open and called for Christian's name several times, but no one answered. The officer stated he is not allowed to go inside. The mother made it home and advised she found the ankle bracelet had been cut off and that Christian was gone. A DTA was issued. And then on August 18th, around 00:27 hours, the mother contacted detention intake and advised Christian returned home. Arlington PD was dispatched and he was transported to the juvenile detention center. He's also pending for the following offenses: the credit card, debit card abuse, criminal trespass ×4, evading arrest, and aggravated robbery. A psychological has been scheduled for September the 20th, and the report is not due back until September the 28th. He's set for an adjudication disposition hearing on September 24th for the credit card, debit card abuse, criminal trespass, and evading arrest. And then he's set for a determinate sentence hearing on October 6th for the aggravated robbery.
All right, Mr. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, I'm sorry, and I didn't hear what level he was on right now.
He is currently on level 1 outstanding since September 14th.
Okay, so that's 2 days, I guess. Okay. Your Honor, from talking to Mr. Boneberg also. We had a hearing scheduled last week that we passed on because he was taking the case to the grand jury for determinate sentencing. I don't know the status of that. It is a concern that there's an aggravated robbery, and he only has 2 days of being on level 1 outstanding. I would ask, though, that if he can maintain that for a certain time period of your choosing, that I might be able to come back and ask for him to be released.
Your point is well made. However, it's too soon since he cut off his electronic monitor for me to be in a position where I can trust him yet.
Yes,
so, Mr. Fuller, I need you to maintain that level 1.0 for me. That, if you can do that, then that gives me reason to think that I might trust you if I release you again on the electronic monitor, but we're not there yet. All right. And you understand why, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to order that you be detained today. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And may my client and I both be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm in court with Xander here.
All right. Mr. Henry. We have Mr. Henry. Bueller. Or know where Mr. Henry is?
He should be in the back. Let me give him a ring. See if there's a holdup.
It'll be just a moment, sir. We're getting them.
All right.
Quarantine 5.
It's a good thing Judge Kim's not here. Smoke would be coming down the halls from breathing fire. Uh-oh, Judge Kim is here. Well, while we're waiting for HPod to get set up, can we go ahead and bring forth Mr. Hood?
Can you? There goes Mr. Henry, Your Honor.
I think I got it.
All right.
About that, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Hood?
Henry.
All right, Mr. Henry. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Daniels, is here. Do you see Mr. Daniels on the screen?
Yeah.
Is that a yes, sir?
Yes, sir. My bad.
Thank you. All right. Jorge, what brings Mr. Henry to court today?
Your Honor, I requested this detention hearing yesterday after speaking with Mary. He's an out-of-state runaway. Initially, he advised that he wanted to contest his return to Florida. After I spoke with him, and then Keith Daniels also spoke with him, he wishes to return to Florida voluntarily to his mother.
All right. Mr. Henry, you understand. I actually watched the detention hearing last time with you and Judge Kim, and when Judge Kim went over your options with you. So I want to make sure you still understand those options. I know Mr. Daniels has explained them to you, but I got to go over with them. Oh, got to go over those options with you. We basically have two tracks here. Florida says they want you, and you can either go back voluntarily or you can contest it. If you contest it, we'll schedule this for a hearing for a later date. You'll remain in detention until the time where we schedule that hearing. At that hearing, the state of Florida will send us some paperwork that's verified by our office down in Austin. And at that hearing, I'll compare that paperwork to the information before the court. There are only really two issues that the court should consider at that hearing. First is all the paperwork like it's supposed to be? Is it in order? All the I's dotted and all the T's crossed. The second issue is whether you're really the person that the state of Florida wants. Those are the only two issues that I'd really consider. So, and if I find that the paperwork's in order and I find that you are the person wanted by the state of Florida, I would have to send you back to the state of Florida, even if I thought it was in your best interest and it was the fairest thing to do for you to stay here in Texas. Law doesn't allow me to do that. All right. But if the paperwork's not in order, or I don't think you're the person that's wanted by the state of Florida, then you get to stay here. But that's the only issue at a contested hearing. Now, knowing all of that, you can go the contested hearing route, or you can go the waiver route. What is it? What do you want to do today?
Waiver route.
All right, Mr. Daniels, you join your client in the waiver route.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. I do not have that paperwork in front of me, but Mr. Nava, I will authorize and sign all that paperwork at the appropriate time. And so let's let the state of Florida know that he's coming back voluntarily. And once I have all that paperwork, Mr. Henry, I'll need you to actually come to my courtroom and you'll have to sign that paperwork in front of me, okay?
All right. Yes, sir.
Mr. Daniels, is there any way you can come down to juvenile sometime later today?
Yes, there is, Your Honor.
I would feel more comfortable if you were with him as he signed that. That way he's got counsel representing him and you can ask any questions.
Okay, yeah. If George, if you would just let me know what time I should come to the courthouse to be with him when he comes to the courtroom.
Yes, sir. I would say anytime before 1:30 should be perfect.
And I'll make myself available for whatever.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Henry. I'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
That's an asterisk. Okay. Mr. Hood.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hood. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Herrick, is here. You see her on the screen.
You asked me, can I see her?
Yeah. Yes.
No, sir.
All right.
Can you see me now that my box is covered, hopefully?
I can see you now.
Okay.
All right. Is Ms. Gonzalez is here. Ms. Gonzalez, what brings Mr. Hood back to court?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, Braden was admitted into our detention center on July the 26th of 2020 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance under 1 gram possession of marijuana under 2 ounces, unlawful carrying of a weapon, and ag robbery. According to our report, Detective Youngblood and Detective Kidd of the Arlington Police Department were assigned to an aggravated robbery that occurred on or about July the 24th of 2020 at approximately 8:46 p.m. Victim reported that she had arranged a purchase of a cell phone from an individual she met via Instagram under the name of NUMBAA, the number 5 IVEE. She reported that the suspect arrived, displayed a handgun, and pointed it at her, then demanded her money. Victim gave him her brown fanny pack with $400 cash, an ID card, a food stamp card, and a Cash App card. The victim further stated she possibly knew the suspect from school and described a tattoo on his right forearm as Trill with flowers. Detectives researched the Instagram name, number 5, and saw a black male that matched description with the tattoo that could be seen in an Instagram video. Detectives further researched the suspect's name and saw that Braden Hood had prior criminal history that involved prior arrangements made through the Instagram, identified as number 5, to purchase cell phones. On July the 25th, Arlington PD detained Mr. Hood and another individual, which were both apprehended in a green Kia Soul, which was suspected to have been used in the aggravated robbery. The day before, officers observed guns in the vehicles. Mr. Hood was then arrested and charged with aggravated robbery.
Mr. Richmond, what says the state?
Judge, based on the offense and the information presented by Ms. Gonzalez, we'd ask for detention.
Ms. Herrick.
Yes, Your Honor. At his last detention hearing, which was with you, you stated to him that you wanted a chance to talk to his mom and his grandma, since he would likely or maybe be splitting time with both of them. His mom was here last time, but his grandma wasn't. It's my understanding that she's here today to answer any questions that you may have. And so if you do have any questions, then she's here, but otherwise we ask that he be released today.
What I wasn't aware of at the last detention hearing was he was released in October of last year on the electronic monitor after he held level 1.0 for 3 days. A month and a half later, he was back on a new UUMV and he was ordered detained, but he could be released the following week if he was on level 1.0. He was back 5 months later on a new theft charge, failed his previous drug test. He came in, tested positive for marijuana and amphetamines. And then in April, I am the one who allowed his release once he maintained level 1.0 for 2 weeks. 3 months later, we're back on this new offense. I see a bad pattern here, Ms. Herrick.
I understand.
I see a real bad pattern. And unfortunately, I'm the one who got burned this last time by the bad pattern. You think you know where I'm headed, Mr. Hood?
Yes, sir.
You know, at some point it becomes personal to me. It's like you're doing this to me. Are you?
No, sir.
All right. Well, I hope not. But at this point, given, 1, 2, 3 times, and the last time I got burned, we have an escalating pattern of behavior. I'm afraid that if I were to release you, you'd be back here with a new offense. I can't do that. All right?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I got to order you to be detained based on your history. All right? You haven't convinced me yet that if I were to release you, you'd obey the rules, okay?
I talk to you. I said, can I talk to you?
Don't talk about the offense, okay?
All right. I was going to say that I've been in here. I've been a level 1-0 for 41 days, and I had just got dropped this weekend to a 2U, and I had got back up to a 1-0. I've been keeping my level and everything.
Yeah, but you understand that I'm still not. I mean, you held your level 1-0 last time when I released you. You held it for 2 solid weeks, and yet we're back here again. Right?
Yes, sir.
So this time you got to hold it longer before you convince me, and I'm just not there yet.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. All right. That'll be the order of the court.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Herrick.
Do you want me to stick around or may I be excused?
Lateef is here, so we're good. I appreciate it.
Not a problem at all. Thank you.
And you have a waiver. Yay, yes, All right, Mr. Ortega.
Separated.
Mr. Ortega here.
Yes, sir.
Let's give my internet connection. There we go. All right, Mr. Ortega.
Yes, sir.
My name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Graham, is here. Do you see Mr. Graham on the screen?
Mr. Graham.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
You mean yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's treat Mr. Graham with respect, okay? All right. Ms. Turner-Hill, what brings Mr. Ortega to court today?
Your Honor, this is a 10-day for James. He was referred in custody on August the 31st for the offense of aggravated robbery and evading arrest detention with a vehicle. According to the police report, at about 3:50 p.m., officers responded to a robbery call. The victim said that she was on her way to work, and as she was approaching the intersection, she noticed 3 males standing in the intersection. When she stopped, they surrounded her car. And a Hispanic male, later identified as James, produced a handgun and told the victim to get out of the car. James jumped in the driver's seat while companion Tyler Ledford got in the front passenger seat and Abel Ortega got in the back left passenger seat. Officers located the vehicle around 4:25 p.m. An officer attempted a traffic stop by activating lights and sirens, and the vehicle fled at a high rate of speed and eventually crashed into another vehicle in a tree. The occupants, Abel and Tyler, both fled on foot, but they were detained and arrested. There were 2 back passengers with last names Maldonado and Guana. They remained in the car. James was pinned in the car and had to be assisted out of the car, and they were all taken to Cook Children's Hospital for medical treatment. After one of the people that were in the back seat, they were released. He reported that James picked him and his girlfriend up and told them that the car belonged to his mother, and they denied knowing that the car was stolen. They were not charged. James, Abel, and Tyler fit the description of the suspects given by the victim. According to the police report, they never located a handgun, and James was charged with aggravated robbery, evading arrest detention with the vehicle. He has 1 prior contact involving a marijuana offense back in March of 2018 with a supervisory caution, and he is on level 1 outstanding as of September the 5th.
All right, Mr. Graham, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, he has been on level 1 outstanding for more than 10 days now. I spoke with his mother because Abel, his brother, was involved. We would like to get James released. The court wants to place him on a monitor, but if the court has concerns over James and Abel being together, the mother does have a plan with her brother where she could have the 2 kids essentially at home in different homes if the court thought that was necessary. But a petition at this point hasn't been filed. We'd like to ask that he be released on a monitor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Graham. My internet connection is unstable, and so I only caught part of what you said. If you could please start over from the beginning, I apologize.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'll talk a little slower in case it pops out. James has been on level 1 outstanding for more than 10 days now. We'd like to ask that he be released on a monitor. One of the concerns I think the court may have is that James and his brother Abel being together. If that's a concern of the court, I've talked with Mom, and she has the ability to have one of the boys, James, if the court wants, stay at her brother's house, so the 2 boys could be released, but still staying separate until we resolve the case. At this point, no petition's been filed in the case.
All right, Mr. Richmond.
It just looks like pretty dangerous behavior, both in terms of carjacking someone with a gun and then going crazy trying to get away from the cops and crashing. It sounds like everyone went to Cook's. Let's see, I know he did, and he himself had to go to Cook's Children's Hospital. It sounds like the passengers may have, or a couple of them may have. So we're talking about not only a much greater danger of people getting hurt. So I would note I've looked at the file. I know Mr. Reed looks like he's still reviewing it. There's 40 different videos to view, so there's quite a bit to look at in making a call on this one. So I'd ask that he be detained.
Well, the state has 30 days. Mom, you heard what Ms. Turner Hill had to say. Does this scare you?
Yes.
First of all, where would James get a handgun?
Well, he doesn't own any handguns. They do have BB guns that I've purchased for them because they would go play down my dad's house, and when they would play with their BB guns, they were supervised. And I don't know what caused them to do this. I'm sorry that they did this. I know that James is sorry. I just want to bring my son home. I'm begging you, please, to give him a second chance. This is not James. This is not who he is. He is a good boy. I don't let him run the streets. Why they did this, I'm sorry.
Where did he get the marijuana?
The marijuana was when he was in school. A friend of his, a little boy that I let come stay at the house because he didn't have anywhere to stay. His name was Richard. He says that who gave it to him.
And this was the reason he tested positive for marijuana on September 1st?
No, the September, I thought you were talking about from when he got in trouble the first time.
I'm talking about this time. Yes. When he came in, he tested positive for marijuana again.
Yeah. The first time.
Where did he get it this time?
I don't know. I've spoken to James every day on the phone. I see that he's trying to change, you know. Like I said, he's not a bad kid. He just made a bad choice. I'm asking you to have mercy on him. Please let him come home.
Well,
I will watch him.
Who else lives in the home with you?
My daughter, she's 18. My 2 younger kids, Abel and Samantha.
And are you working right now? Are you at home because of the pandemic?
No, I work at JPS Hospital. I work Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. But my daughter-in-law and my daughter, who's there now, Rosemary, she just graduated school. She's home until she's going to do her online college classes. So she's home with Abel, but my daughter-in-law, who's here today with me, can also go and sit with the boys until I get off of work.
And how old are they?
My daughter-in-law, she's gonna be 23, and my daughter, she's 18.
And tell me about the school that he's going to be enrolled in and how you're going to make sure that he does his classes and his assignments.
He got accepted into Trimble Tech High School. And he's gonna be doing all his classes online. I can just tell you that I promise that I'll make sure he does them.
All right.
I also have my sister-in-law who's offered to come sit with them on her days off as well to make sure that they're doing good. My older boys, all my 3 older kids graduated high school from Trimble Tech. He's got good support. I don't know why they chose to do this. All I can do is ask for forgiveness for them.
Well, Mom, it's not your job to ask for forgiveness. It's his job to ask for forgiveness for his sins, right?
Yes. You know, like my dad passed away on July 17th. And for a whole month, I felt like I neglected them. I couldn't be there for them, and I pushed them away. I was grieving, and they needed me. And I feel like this is part of my fault, and I own up to it.
Well, all right. Mom, it sounds like you got a good safety plan in place. So and he has been level 1-0 for the last 11 days. I'm going to authorize his release. I will do it on the electronic monitor. Mr. Ortega, you are essentially on house arrest. You are not allowed to leave your house for any reason whatsoever unless it is to come to court or to go to a doctor's appointment that your probation officer has approved ahead of time. As far as church and stuff, he can watch online church. All right. But I want him home. I don't want him running around. You're 14. You can't even legally drive in Texas. So there's no reason for you to be out anyway. And if you violate that electronic monitor, even once, Ms. Turner-Hill is going to let me know, and I can issue a directive to apprehend that results in you coming back to Kimbo. And next time, I'm going to throw away the key.
Yes, sir.
You got me, Mr. Ortega?
Yeah, yes, sir.
If you let me down, if you burn me, it will not go well for you. So don't violate your electronic monitor.
I got a question. On the monitor, can I go like on the porch and stuff? Or?
No, you are to stay inside your house. You're not to leave the 4 corners of your house unless it is for a doctor's appointment or to come to court. No exceptions. I can't trust you. Okay? So no, I'm just going out on the porch. None of that. No. The answer is no, 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 no. You may not leave your house. You got me?
Yes, sir.
If that monitor goes off one time, Miss Turner-Hill is going to come tell me, and you get to come back to Kimbo. You got me?
Yes, sir.
You understand you are on lockdown, no exceptions.
Yes.
You understand the consequences if you violate my rules.
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll be the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Really won't sit here and bargain with me. Go out on the porch. No. Give me a break. Do I look stupid? Going out on the porch is going to turn into I'm going out in the yard, turns into I'm going down the street. How stupid do I look? probably should have just, for asking that, I probably should have just told him no. If we're gonna bargain about that, this bargain is over and you will stay. Maybe that's what I'll do next time. Really? I'm in a charitable mood today, and he wants to take advantage. All right, are you Mr. Rosales?
Yes.
Sir.
Mr. Rosales, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge every 10 business days. This is your 10-day detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Mr. Adler is your attorney. He is here to advise you. Ms. Aguirre, what brings Mr. Rosales back to court?
Your Honor, Leonardo was referred out of custody on August the 12th for the offense of burglary of a habitation. According to the police report, at approximately 6:54 p.m., officers were dispatched to a residence in reference to a burglary in process. The police report states when officers arrived, they spoke to the mother of 2 female victims who reported while making a run to the store. She received a call from her daughters, whom were at home by themselves, and reported seeing someone in the house. Victim advised officers she heard thumping noises coming from inside the residence, walked around the home, and saw someone peek into a room. Victim reported it was a person she knew that goes by the name of Stitches. He was later identified through social media in a photo lineup as Leonardo Rosales. Officers observed a TV that was moved in what appeared to be an attempt to steal a television. And Leonardo was referred in custody on August 31st for the offense of engaging in organized criminal activity and burglary of the building. According to the police report, on August the 1st, Dubai beauty salon owner made a burglary report of her business. Video surveillance of the incident shows on August 1st at 2:42 a.m. a trailblazer driving around the salon and dropping off suspects. Another clip showed 2 suspects shattered the front lobby window. One suspect entered the salon through the broken window, took the cash register, while the second suspect waited outside. The victim provided the name Fidencio Ruiz as being the suspect in the video taking the cash register. And on August the 13th, officer met with Fidencio in Tarrant County Jail. He confessed to committing the burglary of the salon. He stated his brother Hector and his brother's friend Stitches went to the salon. He stated Stitches needed some money, stated, "Let's hit a lick." He reported he drove Hector and Stitches to the salon, and Hector and Stitches broke the window to the salon. He reported he later entered the salon and took the register as Stitches waited outside. The detective identified Stitches as Leonardo Rosales through a photo lineup where a witness identified him committing a residential burglary. Fidencio admitted Leonardo was the same guy involved in the residential burglary that all 3 had committed. On August the 31st, officer was dispatched to a warrant service. Upon a knock at the door, Leonardo attempted to flee the scene and jump the backyard fence. He re-entered the residence and hid underneath the bed, underneath the covers. Officers located Leonardo in the bedroom and verified he had 2 outstanding warrants. Your Honor, Leonardo does have offense history from November 2018 for possession of marijuana. He did test positive for marijuana September the 1st, 2020, and he has been on level 1 outstanding since September the 4th.
All right, Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Yes, Judge. The mother has a plan for him. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm telling Hector to put his hand down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Judge, although the mom does work, she, like the other case, she does have an 18-year-old daughter that's here in court today that does not work, that can be at home. I don't know if supervising, but at least telling Ms. Aguirre if there's any violations, if anything's going on. So I would ask the court to release him on the electronic monitor under strict house arrest lockdown, as you said earlier.
The difference between that last case and this case is Hector has multiple involvements. So if Hector, put your hand down. There's nothing you can say that's going to help you right now. I'm going to order his detention today. Mr. Adler, if you think you can convince Judge Kim to authorize his release, then you can ask for a special setting in front of Judge Kim, but no, not today.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Is Brandon
Present.
Yeah, he's here. All right. Are you Mr. Simon?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Simon, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Newman, is here to be your counsel. All right. Mr. Lewis. I saw Mr. Lewis. There he is. Mr. Lewis, what brings Mr. Simon to court today?
Mr. Lewis, you're muted.
All right, Bob, let's get you unmuted. There we go. All right.
Your Honor, this is a 10-day for Kelvin. He was originally referred by North Richland Hills Police Department on July 20th on charges of unlawful carrying of a weapon, theft of firearm, and evading arrest. According to the police report on that date, police were called regarding 3 suspects in front of an apartment complex handling a gun and leaving the scene in a vehicle. Police en route to the scene saw a vehicle matching the description of the suspect vehicle, pursued it. There was a brief period of several blocks of the car refusing to stop, at which point it did eventually stop, and all 3 occupants fled the vehicle on foot. 2 of them leapt over backyard fences. Police set up a perimeter, and the youths were spotted by police taking off in different directions. Kelvin was pursued on foot by 2 officers, one of whom reported seeing him allegedly remove a black handgun from his right side pocket and throw it to the ground behind him, where it shattered into pieces. He was located hiding in a manhole cover, complied with commands to come out, but immediately tried to run again, and he had to be taken down to the ground by officers. Police ran the serial number on the handgun that Kelvin had been allegedly in possession of. It was reported as stolen, and they found 1 round in the chamber. And also the vehicle that the teenagers were driving was also reported as stolen. Kelvin,
and he has been, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Warrant for runaway from Dallas County when he since rescinded that warrant, but he is on active supervision in Dallas County.
And he has been level 1-0 only for the last 2 days.
This time, he has reached level 1-0 in the past and maintained it. This time, it's only been for the last 2 days.
All right. Mr. Newman.
Well, Judge, we are set for Monday on this case. I think we are going to resolve it in a way that will result in Dallas County handling the disposition. I do think that my client has exhibited appropriate behavior on average back in the detention. I don't see a family member on the Zoom, though. So I don't know if we could release him if we were able to.
All right. Mr. Simon. Either I or Judge Cherry will see you on Monday, but for now,
I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Mom. But regardless, the runaway, the previous supervision in Dallas,
yeah,
only level 1-0 for the last 2 days. I'm not convinced if I release you, you'd actually come back to court, Mr. Simon.
Okay.
So I think he's got to stay here. Okay.
For how long?
Well, we have court on Monday, correct, Mr. Newman?
Yes, Judge, at 9:30 a.m.
So we will see you on Monday.
Do you want me to come in?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yes.
Okay,
We'll see you then. All right. Thank you, Mr. Simon. That's going to be the order of the court.
thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And last but not least,
How you doing, Judge?
better than I deserve, Mr. Adenishi. How are you?
I'm good. Can
All
I
right.
can I have your permission to visit to go to the porch?
No. No porch visits today. Porch is off limits for everybody. All right, are you Mr. Wilinski?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilinski, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into our detention facility, you must see a judge within 2 business days. So this is your initial detention hearing. Let me let you know, you have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there is something you do want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand back and forth like this. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Now, I've appointed Mr. Adeniji to be your attorney. Do you see Mr. Adeniji on the screen? His is the screen marked Latif.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Ms. Blair,
Yes,
what
sir.
brings Mr. Wilinski to court today?
Your Honor, Xander is a 14-year-old male who was brought in custody on September 15th as a runaway by North Richland Hills PD. Per the report, on September 11th, officers were dispatched in regards to a runaway. The mother advised that Xander was dropped off that morning by Halton PD officer. The mother stated Xander got upset with her and ran out of the house again. The mother advised she did not give him permission to leave. The mother advised that Xander had not been attending school. On September 15th, the mother advised Xander was found at his friend's house by North Richland Hills PD. Officers called the supervisor here, Mr. Velasquez, regarding Xander being a habitual runaway. Officers were advised to bring him into the detention center. North Richland Hills officers advised that Xander is a habitual runaway, making him a high risk. He is also pending for aggravated assault with deadly weapon that happened on March 31st of 2020. That was referred out of custody. According to that report, on March 17th, police responded to a call of juvenile being threatened with a knife at Walmart. When police arrived, they observed 5 juveniles walking. The police recognized Xander from previous calls. Xander was searched and found to be in possession of the knife in his right front pocket. Xander stated he got into a fight at Walmart. Xander stated the person he was fighting, which is the victim, pulled a knife on him. Xander stated he then pulled his knife and made a jabbing motion at the victim. There were witnesses that gave written statements stating that Xander pulled his knife on the victim first. He did complete a psychological evaluation on September 9th. The results are due back on September 16th. And he's also set for a court hearing on October 21st at 9:30. He did finally was able to provide a UA this morning. He was positive for amphetamines, methamphetamines, and THC.
Okay.
And his father is on Zoom.
Yes, Dad. Mr. Kenneth Willis.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Tell me what you're thinking.
Been a habitual problem with Xander for many, many, many months. The drug usage, to my knowledge, has been going on. I know he was smoking marijuana, but I didn't know anything about the other two, or the other drugs that he was doing. This is his running away and behavior has been going on for months. something I've never had to go through this before, so I don't know what to do or what to say. All I know is that, we're doing everything we can do to try to help him, and it's not enough. And I can promise you, if he comes home today, can he hear me?
He can.
Okay, if he comes home today or any other day for that matter, he's going to take off again because that's just what he does. And he tells us he doesn't care.
All right. Well, Dad, that makes this easy. Because
I want to say this, if I could. Somehow, some way, we need to not, I don't know how the juvenile thing works, but just locking him in a cell and leaving him in there is not going to do him any good. He needs help. He needs counseling, and he needs to go to school is what he needs to do. Does that happen where he's at?
Yes, sir, it does. Correct, Ms. Blair?
Yes, Your Honor.
We have teachers that come in and teach class.
Yes.
So while he's here, he gets to go to school. If he doesn't like to go to school, he still gets to go to school.
Okay. It's been very frustrating, and I think my wife is on this Zoom call as well. It's been going on for months and months, and we've tried to get him counseling, and he'll be good for a few days, and then boom, off he goes. Don't see him for 3 or 4 days.
Do you have Ms. Blair's contact information?
Ask my wife. I think she may have. She's on this call too.
She has it, Your Honor. I've been in contact with her.
All right. Ms. Blair will also provide y'all with the contact information for Mr. Adeniji, Xander's attorney.
They have my information. I spoke with the mom this month.
All right. And Dad and Mom, I need y'all to be communicating with both Lateef and Miss Blair. This court is not about putting kids in a cell and throwing away the key. This court is about bringing a whole host of people together. Defense attorneys, prosecutors, probation officers, a whole bunch of people, parents especially, to try and figure out what we can do to help this kid. We're all on the same team here. We want to do whatever we can to help Xander. So it's very important that y'all stay in touch with both Xander's attorney and his probation officer and give them as much information as y'all can so that we can help Xander going forward. Yes, sir.
I just want to say on Xander's behalf, Xander is a very, very, very intelligent young man. He's well beyond, and this is something that I think what we're trying to do here is get him back on the right path and not just lock him up and say, well, we're going to give up on you. And if Xander, you can hear me, we love you and we care about you. And we want you to fulfill your life as smart and as intelligent as you are. You have that capability. And this is the only way that I feel that this can be done with you.
Judge.
Yes, sir.
I just want to find out, has he ever been on electronic monitoring before, Mr. Wilkinson?
No.
Because, Judge, I think the concern of the parents talking to the mom this morning is more about his safety. And as the probation officer mentioned to the court, we had scheduled him for psych evaluation. The report is expected actually back today to know exactly what kind of help he needs and what's going on with him. So my request on behalf of Xander is if the court will release him on electronic monitoring with the condition that he cannot even go to the porch and go to school whilst he's in house arrest, literally. I would think, because his psychological problem may degenerate, locking him up in detention center pending the time we come back after receiving the report. And I don't think that will necessarily be helpful or productive.
All right. Thank you, counsel. First, I will find that there's probable cause exists to believe that the child is engaged in delinquent conduct. Secondly,
I think the dad wants to say something.
Yes, Dad.
Okay, electronic monitoring. You just told me that he stayed in there, that he would get counseling and he would go to school, correct?
I said he would go to school. The counseling piece is a little bit different.
Okay, what does that
come later?
What does that mean?
That may come later after disposition of the case. The probation department will recommend whatever services he may need depending on the psychological report.
Okay, where's his mother?
I didn't hear that.
Where's his mother? Where's my wife?
I don't know.
Is she on this call?
I don't know.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
That's your answer.
Okay, Laura, I can't see you, but I can hear you. I'm not in favor of release. So what's your position?
I mean, that's not up to us, but
Yeah, kind of. The judge is going to go.
Oh, well, I don't think he should be released either because my husband and I want to get him in a program. And we are working on trying to get something for him, a good program. He has insurance, but releasing him and putting a monitor on him, that's wonderful, but he's going to go again. So I'll just keep calling the police, I guess. I don't know what else to do. He's attended 1 day of school out of 3 weeks. He walks in the front door and out the back.
All right. I'm going to help y'all out, Mom and Dad.
Okay.
He's not being released today.
Okay.
He is not going home on the electronic monitor. Xander, you and I both know what you would do if I sent you home on the electronic monitor today.
Okay.
You would get your knife and you would cut it off. Don't try and convince me otherwise. I know.
No, I'm trying to tell you.
Xander, remember.
Xander, let the judge talk.
Xander, remember you have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. I strongly suggest you just keep your mouth shut because nothing you say at this point is going to help you. Okay, you and I both know that if I were to release you on the electronic monitor, you cut it off at this point. All right, it's in your best interest. Plus, you would be a danger to yourself if I let you go today, and I can't do that. So I'm going to order that you be detained. Mom and Dad be in touch with both Ms. Blair, Mr. Adeniji, and we'll get together. All work together in finding out a solution to help him. Okay, that will be the only course. Thank you, everybody. We're done.
Judge, before we end, may I request, is it possible if he gets on level 1 outstanding in 3 or 4 days to consider? Okay, that's all I want, Judge.
He's got a call the next day. No,
okay.
This is
I'm just making a request, Judge. I got it.
I appreciate your advocacy, but this is the problem with having a really, really smart kid, and Xander appears to be that situation.
And I believe the judge is doing what's in the best interest of Xander.
Right. We've got to stay about 8 steps ahead of him because something tells me he's playing a game of chess and too many people are playing checkers.
Xander, I will talk to you after the proceeding. So keep whatever you have. Unless the judge wants to hear what you have to say.
Ready for another one, guys? Give me one moment and I will get it up here for us. What do you think about that? I think Xander's, oh, for fudge sakes, I clicked the wrong button. That's okay. Um, I think Xander's parents didn't seem on the same page to me, if anything. Uh, um, yeah, I think that Xander is just, he was mad when he didn't get when they said they weren't releasing him that day. You saw it in his face. He was not happy about that at all. Oh, come on. I know, but now I'm trying to get it working properly and I can't. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. I'm here. Um, oh, come on. I had this going before. Dad wants change. Mom wants candy sprinkles and unicorn farts. Well, and what in the heck was going on in the background of Mom's too? Like, it was confusing for sure. Sorry. I may have to close that and reopen it. I am in the kitchen. My knife is there. I have knives, I'm sure. I think Judge Porter was really excited also. Did you guys like when he was like, "I was good thing Judge Kim's not here," and then, oh, Judge Kim is here. Push the buttons. I don't know what buttons you're talking about. You think Mom was at work? I don't think so. She was drinking out of a magic bullet cup. I don't think she was at work. Amy, I have fallen down those stairs many times from just being an idiot. Like, because I put stuff on them and then I walk over them. Oh yeah, I'm full of messes when it comes to those stairs. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, the like button, Jonathan. I thought you were talking about me. Oh God. I was like, what button? How can I make it work? No, you're talking about the like buttons. Um, that's probably why. I realize why my computer is running so slowly. Because I haven't uploaded my videos off of my hard drive yet, so it's just full of them. I know I shouldn't put stuff on the stairs. I shouldn't, but I do. History. I'm sorry this is taking so long, guys, but I know you're here with me. Um, there it is. It's gonna have to be in Chrome, just this one, guys, I promise. What's up, Buttercup? Okay, I'll get for you. Hold on. Hooray, she says as she runs away. Okay. Now let's see. Now I change the properties. This is live, folks. Live. Now let's make it better than 144. Look how blurry this is. Oh my God.
Olivia has let both of her counselors know at Excel, the PhD program she is in, that supposedly she has a 1-year-old child. We also found.
What's this lady talking about?
Told her that, you know, hey, you really.
Stab. I remember this. Here.
Oh, okay. We went too far. Let's go back part. Hey, vey.
And they comply with Tarrant County Judge Whitley's order regarding coronavirus. The courtroom is closed to the public, and so we are broadcasting this in order to comply with the Texas Open Courts Act, Article 1, Section 13 of the Constitution, that allows the public to view the proceedings within the courtroom. We are broadcasting this on YouTube. Any recording, copying, publishing of or broadcasting of these proceedings is prohibited by this court. A violation of this order is punishable by contempt of up to 6 months in jail and a $4,000 fine. We'll go and start with Olivia Arts. Olivia, is that you? Is that you, Olivia?
Your Honor, she's in out of custody. I see somebody on FPOD, but Olivia's in the courtroom.
It's right. Olivia, is that you in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay, Olivia, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to make a decision whether to take you into custody or to leave you in the community. If I take you into custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Anything that you say during this detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. All right, so Olivia, you're 15 years old. You've never been here before. And let's see, we had a progress report in August. You were released from detention after a detention hearing for ag assault with a deadly weapon. We received a text from your mom saying that you were acting out in the house. Let's see. You attempted to start a fire at the grandma's home. You threatened the family with a knife. When the police responded, you made suicidal statements. So they took you to JPS. But you were released because they thought you were only making statements to avoid returning to detention. So do we... Ms. Turner, do we have anything to substantiate that? Like any details?
As far as the JPS stay or?
As far as what she said, to make the doctor feel like she was only trying to avoid being detained.
No, sir, I haven't received the records from JPS. That was a statement made by her mom.
Okay.
Actually, I believe she did say she didn't want to go back to detention at that time.
Okay. So, are you on? No, okay. Oh, you did? Okay, good. All right. So September 1st, Judge Porter did a judicial review and he admonished you for your behavior and said that you had 48 hours to comply with the rules in the house or you would come back here. And he encouraged you to use your coping skills. So on the 7th, we received a text from your mom saying that you were no longer complying in the house. You were verbally aggressive, threatened everyone at home, including a 9-year-old sister and grandma. And the family contacted the police, thinking things were escalating poorly. Police came, but didn't take you into custody. So Mom, wait a minute. All right, so this is originally...
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Doug. Our thing just caught out, so what you just said, the family did not hear.
Okay. All right. So, Olivia, our probation office got a text on September 7th with your mom saying that you were being verbally aggressive and threatening, including your 9-year-old sister and your grandmother. They called the police. Police didn't do anything. So this is originally because you were at the home. You're using a tablet to get on social media, even though your punishment was that you were not supposed to. And then when mom took it away, you started packing your things to run away. Mom kept you from doing it, so you locked in the bathroom. Then you went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and threatened to stab. I remember this hearing. And so, all right, Mom, so tell me what Olivia was doing most recently, since Judge Porter.
Okay, most recently it's just been, she's been very disrespectful.
I need specifics.
She tried to start a fire in her grandmother's home.
I need specifics. What do you mean? She just tried inside, outside?
No, it was inside the home. She tried to light a poster board on fire.
Okay.
She.
Tell me about the disrespect.
Yes, cussing out her, as in sense of cussing out both of her grandmothers. Telling one to get the F out of her home, the other one telling her to shut the F up. Since Dad had left the home for a little bit, he had things that he needed to take care of, but since he has been back home, Olivia has behaved a little better. However, we just got reports from her counseling that Olivia is lying to her. Olivia has let both of her counselors know at Excel, the PHP program she is in, that supposedly she has a 1-year-old child. We also found
I didn't do anything. It's done that itself.
Okay.
we have found pictures of a child that we have no idea who it is, that she's taken off of the computer.
Hold on a second. All right. So first of all, the last thing I heard was you talking about a 1-year-old child, and you cut out for a little bit. It's not your fault. So I'm looking for specifics on her disrespect to you.
When being told no, or being told that she can't have something, or when I'm asking for something back, like my phone, because periodically I will let her use it to have contact with others.
Okay, Mom, you're killing me here. All right, I'm asking for questions of disrespect. I can't have the whole story or the whole background. I'm trying to know if she's following the rules at home or not.
No, she's not. She's
okay,
not.
Give me examples of how she's not following the rules.
When she's asked to do something, she bluntly will not. Last night there was a discussion about how serious the court was for her, and she was, Dad told her that, you know, hey, you really should straighten up. And well, I'm ready, I can do this. Just hollering and screaming in the home to the point where her 9-year-old sister gets scared over it.
Right. Okay. All right. This is what I do. All right, Olivia. So this is pretty simple. You were given a chance. It seemed like when we were first here on the offense with the knife that you that your mom went to work with you, but the deal was you had to follow the rules at home. You had problems doing that. Came in, saw Judge Porter. He gave you a chance to follow the rules at home. You're still not doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. You're going to be here. You need to get to level 1-0 and you need to hold it for 72 hours. All right. At that point, then we will give you another chance at home. Mom, does that sound fair? Like I'm basically, the idea behind this is for her to show that she has the ability to follow the rules. If she has the ability, then I can release her to you because you know she can do it. She's just choosing not to. And if she continues to choose not to, then we just bring her back here and do it again. Next time, get to level 1-0, hold her for 1 week, and next time 2 weeks. And we'll just keep on upping it so she understands there's a consequence to her decisions. Or if she's here and she cannot get to level 1-0, she cannot follow the rules here, then we know there's a different issue and we didn't put you and grandma's and sister and everyone else in the home the more difficult than we have to. All right, Mom?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm asking you to give me a chance. Let's see if Olivia can prove herself here. If she can, then we'll give her the opportunity to prove herself at home. But if she can't, then we'll look at the other options that we have. Okay? All right. So Olivia, you're being detained.
Okay, Olivia, come on. You got a cell phone or anything else?
She's hold level 1-0 for 3 days. Olivia, do you understand what level 1-0 is? Okay, can y'all hear me in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay, so Olivia, level 1-0, we have 3 different behavior levels, 1, 2, 3. Within the levels, you have 3 different levels: outstanding, acceptable, unacceptable. All right, if you're not following the rules, if you're resisting, if you're failing to comply, if you're talking back, any of these things, then you drop points. And if you drop points, you cannot be a level 1-0. If you do everything right, then you get to level 1-0, then you hold that for 3 days, and then we give you a chance. All right, so it's really up to you how long you stay here. At the very minimum, it's going to be 6 days. At the longest, it could be 6 months or years. It's really just up to you when you decide to start following the rules. All right, thank you. All right, at this point, we're having bandwidth issues today. And so what I'm going to ask JPD, if you're a supervisor, if I'm going to ask you to switch over to YouTube just to watch the broadcast and get out of the Zoom session, we have close to 50 participants, and it's actually kind of stressing out in the courthouse internet connection. So, yeah, if you're with JPD and you're not an actual officer that I have to ask questions to, I'm just going to request if you can go to YouTube to watch the stream instead. Hopefully that can help a little bit. Sorry? Yeah, how many DAs do we have on here as well? I see Mr. Richmond.
2, Your Honor.
2, okay.
I have the majority of them today. I think Mark's going to hop on one of them.
Okay. All right, we'll try that. That shouldn't be too bad.
Judge, I missed some of that. Are you ready for Collier?
Well, the thing is, there's not even enough bandwidth for me to get a video signal, so I can't see anybody. And so that's a problem. Are there any other JPD? How many people from victims assistance are here? Like, we're at over 40 participants in the Zoom session. Okay. Like, we need some of these JPD, we need to start. So the way I see it right now, I mean, about half of the people here are from JPD. I'm counting 19. I mean, there's only 16 kids, but we have, yeah, they're just spread out today. All right, let's try now. All right, Quintesse Collier.
All right, let me go get him, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to pull him in here. He's out of custody.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, well, probation officers, there's a lot of hearings of all the probation officers, there's some attorneys and stuff.
What is he waiting for? Okay, seriously, Judge, what are you waiting for now? Everything is going. No.
Sorry, y'all, I just don't have video, and that's my problem. I can't see anybody.
We can see you, Judge.
You cannot see me either?
We can. I'm saying I can see you.
Right. Yeah, I'm turning off the video feed for a lot of our juvenile probation officers. That'll free up a lot of the bandwidth.
He's personally offended that they take up so much bandwidth. He's like mad at them.
Yes, Judge.
So, I apologize, Mr. Willett. Turn off your video. We're breaking Zoom.
What's even weirder is
Do you
it's
mind turning off your video? I can't seem to do it from here.
it's coming through perfect for us. Like we've seen bad Zoom before. This is not it.
At least I can see the child now. All right, Mr. Collier, this is a detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is for me to decide whether to take you into custody or to leave you in the community. I'm sorry, Ms. Hall she's a probation officer for this one. So, Mr. Collier, if I take you into detention, then the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to an attorney. Mr. Adniji has been appointed as your attorney. First of all, you're 16 years old. You're on probation until May 2021 for the offense of theft of property. So it's probably a stolen car, $2,500 to $30,000, and you currently owe $750 in restitution. You went on probation almost a year ago in November, and you haven't paid. Let's see. Yeah, you have not paid any restitution yet in almost a year. All right, so May 29th at about 10 o'clock, about 8 o'clock, police observed what seemed to be a drug transaction over at a Quick Trip. 3 people got back to the car. Police followed the car, tried to do a traffic stop, and the vehicle fled from the officers. So it stopped at nearby apartments. Front passenger was detained. Others fled. The vehicle was stolen out of Euless. According to the passenger, driver goes by the name of BJ. We met at the Valero in Euless. Police found out that BJ was identified as Quintesse Collier. When they reviewed the surveillance, confirmed Quintesse entered at about 10 o'clock, 10:06 to 10:10. And these are the same people the officer saw leaving the QT. The camera actually got a good picture of his face leaving the store. Let's go June 3rd, about 10 o'clock at night. Victim traveled to his girlfriend's house. Once he got there, he entered the girlfriend's apartment. He was attacked by several male occupants. Victim saw what appeared to be a firearm in one of the suspect's hands when he brutally attacked by the 4 juveniles. Quintesse was one of the 4 who assaulted the victim. They took his property without his consent. Victim said when he walked in the door, he saw Quintesse standing near the door. Victim said that he had recent trouble with Quintesse in the past, and he had to call the police. They saw Quintesse swing something toward his head, and he fell to the ground, began to bleed profusely on the floor, and the other 3 people joined in the assault and theft of the property. And so Quintesse was identified through a photo lineup. I just shut off everyone's video feed just to free up bandwidth, but I wasn't resolving anybody's picture.
You are still connected through the network cable and not through Wi-Fi?
Yes.
So I need to contact the network.
That's what I was telling her. I'm not Wi-Fi. I'm hardwired.
I know, but
Oh.
if it had cut off, if something had happened to your cable, you would have gone to Wi-Fi.
Yes. Yes.
So I just wanted to double check that it didn't.
Oh.
But I can see from here that it's not.
Oh, like I didn't kick the cord or something.
Great.
Thank you. All right. So Fort Worth PD got a felony robbery warrant for Quintesse. Let's see. All right. So, let's see, according to your mom has always said you're doing well, haven't reported any of these incidences. Mom was aware of the robbery offense when the detective called. The evading of arrest report also said the client was called in as a runaway by mom, but mom never told us that you were a runaway. Never told us about the detective call.
You run away.
So,
running away. So why would I say you?
ma'am, ma'am, I'm not talking to you.
It's cutting out. It keeps cutting out.
So, Ms. Hall, what I'm trying to figure out is, okay, so did he have that robbery case? He was brought in, and then what does he bring in for today for the new referrals for the evading?
I was never.
So, Your Honor, he's had the robbery warrant out, but the fugitive department has not gone to pick him up because they've been dealing with a bunch of murders in Fort Worth. So the robbery warrant from Fort Worth PD is still active. The cases for the robbery and evading arrest this week. So we became aware of them this week, which is why he's here for the out of custody.
This week? Wait. This week I didn't do nothing.
I didn't know you didn't do nothing this week.
What is going on?
Just hold on.
So you're on probation from November 25th of 2019. Ms. Hall, have we given him any drug tests while he's on probation?
Not since March due to the COVID restrictions.
Okay. All right. And then now May 29th. Let's see.
John, hold on. You say John, they talking about David?
Yeah, so Quintesse. So Ms. Hall, Quintesse was the driver of the car that fled, according to the video, surveillance video?
According to the police report, yes.
No, he was not the driver, Judge. He was a passenger.
No, it said Quintesse and the passenger.
Yeah. Okay.
Surveillance footage confirmed that the front passenger and Quintesse. So I'm assuming he wasn't the same.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Hey, Quintesse, I don't think you're taking probation seriously. If any of this is true, there's probable cause that you committed offenses of robbery as well as evading arrest with a motor vehicle. And you're not even paying the restitution that you ordered to as part of your probation. So I'm deeply concerned that you're not taking probation seriously. It seems like you're just escalating the offenses. And so I'm very concerned about the safety of the public and you. I'm going to go ahead and order you detained. Thank you. Jeremy Hauser. Hold on, Mr. Lugo. Oh, really? Do I need to repeat it? Is he still there? Yeah, we just had, the problem is we have so many people on today's detention docket. And yeah, okay. If he's still in here, I lost his video feed. So if he's still there, I don't mind repeating myself. Okay. If you can go there and confirm that you can hear me, and I'll repeat it. Thank you.
So Judge, can you hear us now?
I can hear you, Mr. Ligon. Mr. Collier, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Okay. Mr. Collier, I'm very concerned. You were placed on probation last November. You haven't paid any restitution, and now you're on security footage entering the car that went on evading arrest immediately thereafter. You're also named as a suspect in a robbery case where you hit somebody in the head, and then 4 of y'all
Who was the robbery? That's what I'm trying to get, because
well, that's something you can talk to the attorney about. So
the robbery was on the 3rd of June.
Okay, I apologize, sir.
The robbery was on the 3rd of June, 2020. 3rd of June.
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
Right? I see that. Yeah, Mr. Collier. So this is going back. So May 29th was the evading arrest with a vehicle. June 3rd was the robbery. All right. Both of these while you're on probation. But I'm very concerned about the safety of the public, Mr. Collier. And if you're on probation, you're on probation. You need to take it seriously. So things don't look good for you. But I'm concerned about your safety. So I'm going to go ahead and order you detained. Okay, did you hear what I said? Their mic is off.
I don't think they heard you, Judge.
Yeah, I don't know how they got muted. Mr. Ligon, can you unmute them, please? Okay. Mr. Collier, did you hear what I said?
No, we did not, Your Honor.
Okay. We have so many people on Zoom, it just can't handle it because there's so many in the same building. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move you to the waiting room. Hopefully that helps. All right, thank you. Let's see, Ms. McGonigal, I'm gonna move you to the waiting room because it looks like you're the last one. Oh, she is. Oh, never mind. Let's see, that's Peggy Campos.
He can't.
No, the same like this other.
Even though it's open to.
I don't see her.
Unless you're 13 years or not.
Cynthia Gonzalez.
Otherwise, you have to be open to the program.
I'm sorry?
Your Honor. Your Honor. Ms. Campos isn't going to be here. Her supervisor, Mr. Van Hook, is.
Okay, I can't understand. Right now, we're just breaking Zoom. This court can't handle this bandwidth. So I'm just doing the best I can. We just have to remove people from here. Ms. Thomas, I'm moving to a waiting room for now. Mr. Lewis, I'm going to move you to a waiting room from now. Mr. Sawyer, I'm going to move you to the waiting room for now. I don't even think she's here. I haven't seen the name. Okay, so who would have let him in? Gonzalez go? George.
Wow.
We're still back. He's still there. I'm actually down to 30. All right, let's try from here. It works. I thought I got under 40 people. All right. So, Mr. Collier, this is what I'm saying. You got placed on probation in November of last year. All right. At that point, you have not paid your restitution. You're implicated in May of an evading arrest where the camera has you getting the driver's seat of a car that ran from the police. You're implicated in June with somebody saying that you hit him across the head with an object and they were bleeding and you and 3 other people robbed him of his stuff. When you're on probation, you're on probation. What makes this worse is that you're having these cases and your mom's not even calling us, right? She has a duty to let us know that if the police are contacting you, and she failed that duty. So I believe that you are a danger to the public and a danger to yourself by being in the community. I'm going to order you detained. All right. Doug, were you able to hear all that? Doug, were you able to hear all that?
So, Judge, did you order him detained?
Yes.
No, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to have to do in-person hearings today because there's
If
just
you
too many
can, Judge, I'll take him to the back. Okay.
There's just too many. There's just too many people.
You have a cell phone or anything? Personal stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have anything, huh?
I mean, we're just not equipped with our parents. Let's see. Once we cycle through a couple, then they start dropping off on the connections, and then we're fine. It's just the beginning. There's just so many people here.
Excuse me, Judge.
All right, let's give it a shot and see. Thank you, though.
Excuse me, Judge Kim, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Garcia.
My son Elijah Garcia he's on the docket. So is it all right if I just stay until I can see everything? I can hear you clearly. I see.
All right, Mr. Garcia, I appreciate talking. You know, when it's time for your son, it's your son. The parents, you're entitled to be here, but we're just having bandwidth problems. So I'm trying to remove the people that don't necessarily need to have to be here. But I understand your situation. I'm starting with the people that don't actually. We'll keep it the way, because we're not equipped to handle everything right now. So thank you. I appreciate the idea. We need to come up with a backup plan. So. All right, Keith Daniels, you're here with Jeremy Hauser. Ubar. Worse than you think. Frank, Mr. Adler, I'm putting you in the waiting room. Mr. Newman, I think I put you in the waiting room. No, I think I already did. Okay. All right, Mr. Hauser, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
All right. So the purpose of this hearing is to decide whenever a child is brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. I have appointed Mr. Daniels as your attorney for this case. All right, so you're 16 years old. You just got here. You're currently on probation for assault, family violence. We brought you in yesterday and you tested positive for marijuana while you're in probation. All right, so, see, we got text from RTC All Church Home at about 11 o'clock that you had run away from the facility. And they confirmed that you were a runaway, so we issued a warrant for you. Dallas Police Department picked you up, and you were transported to Dallas County Juvenile. And so we came and picked you up. So is somebody from CPS here?
Yes, Your Honor. Jamar Gordon.
Okay, hello, Miss Neighbors. Is that Miss Neighbors? Oh, they look like it. All right, so y'all, what are y'all with the department? Are y'all with the department?
Judge, we're still not being able to communicate. We can't hear.
Your Honor, that's Mr. Gorman with CPS and Mr. Hauser's mother. They share joint conservatorship of him.
Okay, what is the, have you talked to IT about maybe seeing if there's a problem with that computer? All right, so can y'all hear me from the department?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so right now, what's the conservatorship status of this child?
It's joint temporary managing conservator.
Okay, all right, so we are not an RTC. Which one of you wants this child? Who's in Andy's courtroom?
The joint temporary managing conservator.
Also, is Judge Porter in back in the chambers or in the courtroom?
Okay. Yeah, you're connected.
Okay. All right. Why don't you tell them to take the parents over to that courtroom and see if that fixes it. I don't know if it's this computer or that computer. The problem. Try to fix that one? All right, thank you. I'm going to switch over to Wi-Fi. All right. Okay, so you're with the department. What's the conservatorship status of this child?
Joint temporary managing conservator.
Okay, so he's a runaway. We got him here. I don't know if y'all knew he was smoking weed while he's in that placement. So which one of you want this child today? Did you hear me?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. So we picked him up as a runaway. Which one of you two would like to take him today?
Your Honor, if Jeremy's released back into our custody, he would return back to his facility.
Let's do it. So go ahead and I can release. I mean, right now he's just listed as a runaway. That's why I have him here. He's on probation. I'm not really happy about this, Jeremy. I'm not happy of you smoking weed, but at this point, I know CPS has more options to help you than we do here at Kimbo. So, but if you keep this up, it's just you're actually making me look for a placement for you, and I don't think you want to go to Iowa or North Dakota for 6 to 9 months because those are lockdown facilities that you can't run away from. All right. So, all right. So we'll go ahead. I'm ordering your release to the Department of Family and Protective Services. They'll let you know where to pick them up. All right.
So, Your Honor, we didn't hear any of the stuff going on.
Okay. I'm releasing him to the department. Can we move into Judge Porter's courtroom?
Yeah, we'll move him.
I don't even know what happened.
Part of me says just not do detention at all, just do it again on Monday. This room, I don't think this courtroom can handle 6 foot social distancing. Even individually, I don't know if we can handle it. Honestly, for 6 feet, that's not 18 feet from our wall, from Barden wall. So, we're going to move to another courtroom.
As long as you adjust here a little bit. Your Honor, we have the family in Judge Porter's courtroom now.
All right. Can y'all hear me better now?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this child was a runaway. We picked him up, and so I'm going to go ahead and release him to the department for y'all to go ahead and take him, place him wherever you feel like most appropriate. I was telling Jeremy that he ran away. The thing is, if he keeps on doing it, he's forcing me, since he's on probation, to look for a placement, a long-term placement, you know, that's 6 to 9 months, and he doesn't want that, and I don't want that. So at this point, I think the department has more resources to help him than juvenile does. All right?
Your Honor, may I request that Jeremy be placed on ankle monitor if he's replaced us. He's ran away, I believe, 4 or 5 times from this placement already.
Well, the ankle monitor doesn't keep him from running away. All right.
Right.
And here's the thing: if he cuts off the monitor and ditches it, I'm sending the bill to the department. Are you willing to take that bill?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah. Then we'll go ahead and order he's released on ankle monitor. Jeremy, the best thing you can do is not cut off the monitor, because what that tells me is you're actually going to sit. So here's the thing, Jeremy. If when I issue a warrant for you, that means the police have no discretion in taking you into custody or not.
Yes.
The best thing you can do if you have an ankle monitor is leave it on. You get picked up, you get picked up, but at least I know where you were. The problem is when I don't know where you are, that gives me concern. And that's when I start looking at long-term placements in Iowa, North Dakota, Wyoming, places like that. And they keep you 6 to 9 months, and those are lockdown facilities. Okay. So my advice is we're going to keep the monitor on. We're going to try 30 days. If you're doing well, we'll get the monitor off. That's the standard policy. If you're violating your monitor, then it stays on longer. Okay.
Yes.
He is in now. Dallas County picked him up. His placement's here in Tarrant County. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. He's actually planned to be discharged within 12 days from today.
Discharged from
ACH RTC.
Oh, Jeremy, can you make it 12 days?
Yes, sir.
Right? You can do anything for 12 days, right? Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Your Honor, he's being discharged based on his behavior and new criminal investigations. And as of right now, we probably won't be able to find a placement for him based on recent incidents that occurred.
Okay. So what's y'all's plan then?
As of right now, we just staffed it, and Jeremy was in our system. He is classified as sexually aggressive. They're still searching for placement for him actively. They've been searching for about 18 19 days and haven't been able to find one. Jeremy had been on the run for 12 days. There are multiple law enforcement agencies, including major crimes, Homeland Security, U.S. Marshals, that also need to interview Jeremy based on things that occurred while he was on the run.
All right, so Mr. Miller, are you here?
Yes, Judge.
Do we have any of that?
There's not, they're still in the investigation phase. There's nothing that's been filed with us.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start a placement search. All right. On Jeremy, that just be the best thing to do. All right, I need, you know what? Let's hold on. Department, I'm gonna ask you to hang around after all this is done. After the last one, I want to go back and pick this one up before I make a decision. All right, so I have more questions for you about this. Right now, I need to just move on with the docket. So we'll do this one last. Security control over there for Mr. Bowser. If you just put him aside, we're gonna revisit him last, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Faith Henley.
I'm here, Judge. Her
Thank you.
parents are here as well.
All right, Faith Henley. Okay, Faith, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to attorney. Ms. Taylor has been appointed your attorney. You do have a right to remain silent. But if you say anything, nothing you say here can be used against you at a different court setting. All right, so you've never been here before. Wait, no, you have.
Judge, she was here last week and this court detained her. She was sent to a private placement at San Marcos Treatment Facility and left that placement. And so this court issued a directive to apprehend and she just got back.
From Wise County. All right, so Wise County is looking for, want us to do the adjudication of transfer dispo?
Well, she's pending here in Tarrant. She does live in Wise. I don't even believe petitions have been filed yet. This is brand new.
All right, Faith. Well, decisions have consequences. We let you go, but you decided to run away again. So the only way to keep you from running away is for you to be here. And of course, anytime a young female runs away along the I-35 corridor, it gives me great, great concern and take extra caution. So you're just in the wrong county to decide to do this from. So anyways, I'm going to detain you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Miss. Thank you, Candace.
Yes, Judge.
Roger
Have a good
Jones.
weekend.
You too. All right, Roderick, this is a 10-day detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm going to review the case. I'm going to let you know that you were here on the murder where you were spending the night at a friend's house. And you decided to shoot mom's boyfriend and rob them for a phone. I'm familiar with this case. You're not even level 1 outstanding. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Marion King.
Your Honor, this is Mr. McElvain. I'll be covering Mr. Mitchell's detention hearing today.
All right, thank you. Were you adding people from the window? That's what I noticed too. It was like, it's like that cartoon where I'm digging a ditch and you're filling it in. All right, Mr. King, Judge Kim, this is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, and so I'm reviewing your case. This is a capital murder involving you breaking into an apartment in the middle of the day and shooting somebody over a PlayStation. And so I know you've been here for a long time. You had your appeal. We have another. Mr. Glasson, do we know when this is set for?
Your Honor, it's set for October 21st.
Okay, October 23rd. That's when we get to have your certification hearing then, Mr. King. Otherwise, thank you for being level 1 outstanding. But I'm going to go ahead and keep you detained because I feel like you're a danger to the community. Thank you, sir.
Did you just say that
I went inside an apartment complex and I shot the woman. Did you just put that on?
Yeah, this is the shit. This is capital murder shooting apartment, right?
Yeah, but did you just say that I did it?
I'm saying this is where accused of doing it, even if it's under the law of parties. The law of parties is where if two people.
I know, but before you said it, you said that I did. You said you were here for the shooting.
It's the capital murder.
Yeah.
Yes, you're here. There's probable cause that you committed capital murder. I feel like you're a danger to the public. I'm not going to release you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm ordering you detained.
So why do you feel like I'm a threat?
I'm sorry?
Why do you feel like I'm a threat to the community?
Because you're accused, let me go over this one. All right. So separating what we had at the certification hearing, this is back in 2018. The police were dispatched on Calmont Avenue for a shooting. According to the warrant, the victim had been home caring for a 3-year-old kid when she was shot in the head with a 9mm handgun during a robbery. The police canvassed area during detention. The local gang unit said they had detained 4 people. During the detention, they located a 9mm handgun and silencer on an adult individual and located a loaded magazine belonging to that handgun in the possession of a juvenile companion. You and another juvenile companion were also identified. A warrant was issued for capital murder. We had certification hearing. I certified you as adult. However, there was an appeal that was reversed, so we have a new hearing on the certification, right? So if I remember correctly, there were witnesses that identified you as the person kicking in the door, or when the door got kicked in and going into the house, all right?
So if them persons see me, so why didn't they just call the police right then?
I'm sorry?
If those persons see me, why didn't they call the police right then?
You'd have to ask them, and you'll have the right to do that at your hearing. We have the right to confrontation.
All right.
All right? Thank you, Mr. King.
You too.
Terence Tucker. Mr. Tucker, this is a detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to decide if I should keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have the right to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. So, Mr. Tucker, you're currently on probation until January 1st of 2022 for evading arrest with a motor vehicle. And you're only 14 years old. Right? And when you brought in, gave you a drug test and you're negative. All right, mom says that you've been leaving the house without permission and you missed some outpatient treatment, but it's because your mom had health issues, so I'm not going to hold that against you. You're diagnosed ADHD, but you're not taking medication, and you're attending online school. All right, so we issue a warrant for curfew violations. We don't have a master tamper, but during alert, we talked to your mom. She said you're not allowed, you weren't at home. Mom said you left without permission. She did not know where you were. So, see, we made contact a couple more times. And mom said she left you at the library and had not seen you since. She didn't know where you were. So we talked to her again, 3:30 in the morning, and she gave the phone to you. You said that when you came home from school at 5 o'clock, you had to go to the library. You called your mom at 6 o'clock to say you're going to the library. You stopped at CVS and Walgreens along the way when you saw the library was closed. And then you said it was about 8 o'clock when you said you went home. When you went there, nobody was there to let you in. I went to grandma's house. Grandma wasn't there, but dad was, so you stayed with dad until 2:30 in the morning. Said you tried to call mom, but mom went to the voicemail. You had several EM violations before. So let's see. Yeah, all right. Well, here's the thing, Mr. Tucker. Normally, I would just look at your EM records and it shows me where you were because you didn't take it off. And as long as you were legit where you said you were and you weren't lying to us, I would just let you go now because you didn't cut off the monitor, right? I understand you have to understand, we'll bring you in whenever you violate your monitor. I won't always hold you here though. However, now you're just lying. And that's the problem, right? One thing that probably upsets me more than anything else is when somebody lies to the court. When you lie to JPD, you're lying to the court. You're lying to me. So when you say you try to call your mom, but it went to voicemail, but we're calling your mom and she's picking up the phone, that's a problem. Don't lie to your mom. Don't lie to your probation. Don't lie to me. All right? Just own up to it. Be a man. If you made a mistake, own up to the mistake and just take the consequences and move on. So that being said, this is what I want to do. So Mr. Jennings, are you here?
I have that case, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, Mr. Howard. So this is what I would like to do, Mr. Howard. Let's go ahead and if you can verify where he was, as long as it matches up with the story of the library, and if you can call the library, see what time they closed that day. And then he was at grandma's house with dad and they came over. If he's straight up with that, you know, he gets a level 1-0 and I'll let him go. All right. Okay. Now here's the problem. If he was lying about that, right, then he gets level 1-0 and he needs to hold it for 3 days before I let him go.
You got it, Your Honor.
So really this, you know, Terrence, this comes back to you. If you were, Mr. Tucker, this comes back to you. If you were actually telling us the truth, then that gets you out quicker. But the deeper your lie goes, the more painful this gets. Mom, you're here, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everything you're doing. We're all both working together to help young Mr. Tucker. And I can't do it without you. And even though you can do it without us, hopefully we're making your job a little bit easier. Okay. So Mom, thank you for being accessible, answering the phone at all hours of the night and trying to be helpful. Yes, Mr. Howard.
Your Honor, if he is released or when he is released, will we like him released still back to the monitor?
Absolutely.
You got it.
He has earned more time with the monitor.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, 72 hours. Gets and holds it. All right, Jalen Rice. All right, I think Mr. Willett, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, thank you.
I'm not on camera though. You got me blocked off. I don't.
Oh, I don't know what's happening. It's all right. Thank you though.
Yeah, it's either way. It's fine. I can see everyone.
All right, Mr. Rice. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here. When you get here, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. All right, so Mr. Rice, this is, you just got here. You're on probation. You paid off the restitution, which thank you very much. That's working in your favor. Let's see. All right, so on September 8th, you went before Judge Porter for a 10-day hearing. He released you on EM. You're supposed to have no contact with the victims, including social media. On September 17th at about 8:00 a.m., we found out that Fort Worth PD said that the victim reported that Jalen Rice attempted to video call her on Instagram. And he said that Jalen posted on Instagram saying that your ex is dead people walking. And so, I'm sorry, that is, let's see, but that's the victim, the mom, and her friend. So, all right, well, Mr. Rice, we made it very clear that if we're to let you go, you'd have no contact. You just couldn't stay off social media. So at this point, I feel like you're a danger to other people if I was to release you, so I'm gonna go and detain you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jose Torres. No, I'm sorry, Gavin Sosa. Jeez, he had a chance.
How you doing, sir?
Put the phone down. Just put it down. Put the phone down. Mr. Sosa, I'm Judge Kim. Hello, Mr. Newman.
Hello, Judge. How you doing?
I'm Judge Kim. This is a attorney requested detention hearing. If I detain you from today, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. All right, Mr. Newman, why are you requesting this hearing?
Judge, I was appointed on this morning. I think we may have a miscommunication.
Okay. All right, well.
Please.
I'm sorry, this is not attorney requested. I've been confused on the lines. All right. This is original detention hearing. Mr. Sosa, you're 17 years old.
Yes, sir.
You have had quite a history here.
Yes,
Starts
sir.
when you're
That's not.
13 with weed, like drugs in the school zone. Then you turn 15 with a burglary of habitation. engaged in organized criminal activity, another burglary of a habitation, another burglary of a habitation. So 3 burglary of habitations in 3 nights. All right. So you're still 15. You have a theft of property from 100 to 750. 5 days later, arrested for stealing a car. So now at this point, you're 16. You get arrested for burglary of a vehicle. You're on. Let's see. So, Mr. Lewis, was this child already committed before?
Yes, sir. He's actually here on a warrant from TJJD.
Okay.
And when I spoke with his parole officer earlier this morning, we're both not clear why there isn't a hold in the system for him, but she's working on getting that in the system and requesting that we keep him detained until she can come retrieve him from our detention center.
Okay.
The warrant was issued for absconding back in July, and she has asked for a little grace in terms of coming to pick him up when the results of his COVID test that we gave him come back. I told her I would relay that to you and let her know what your response was.
Okay, so let's see. TJJD contacted Halton City. There was a fight between neighbors at apartment complex, and the police found your warrant from TJJD. They said that it was issued in July for absconding. So you ran off while you're on parole. And so they're trying to pick you up. All right, so we didn't give him a drug test, Mr. Lewis?
We gave him one this morning. He was positive for THC.
All right, so you're on parole, smoking weed on the road. So, and you're 17 years old. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. Mr. Lewis, at this point, if you can tell TJJD and let them know we are not going to screen them for COVID, because all they're going to do is refuse to pick them up if he tests positive. And so they just need to pick them up. And also, if you can let them know that we have about 10 other kids so they should bring a big van and just take them all at once. If they want to take one, they should just take all of them. If you cannot tell them that we're requesting that they can take more than just Mr. Sosa, then probably provide them a copy of that drug test. Mr. Lewis, if they're not going to come within the next 72 hours, I'm going to go ahead and have this child housed downtown in the adult jail. All right. Mr. Sosa, did you have a question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Kim, my past is just...
Okay, all right. Hold on.
I know.
I want you to tell me a story. I'm just asking you a question.
Well, not really. I just wanted to told you like how I was doing like now.
Oh, see, that's not up to me right now. That's not the issue. That's between you and TJJD. They'll make a determination on your parole.
Yes, sir.
Right now, it's whether I should hold you or not hold you. That's all it is.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Sosa. So, Mr. Sosa, I'm gonna let you know if they do keep you here at Kimbo for a little bit longer. It is going to be. That's depending on you behaving. If your behavior level drops at all, you're just gonna be housed. I'm gonna move you downtown to the adult jail. Okay.
Yes, so you don't have no worries.
All right. Mr. Lewis, you probably also want to let them know that our detention facility, like I'm very inclined to keep Mr. Sosa downtown, at which point they're not going to give him a COVID test. And so, that's just, during this time, we're kind of at the tail end of all this. There's just less options, but they need to come and get this child.
I'll let them know.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Judge, should I consider myself to remain on this case?
There's nothing adversarial about this, Mr. Newman. Yeah.
Well, I guess my only question or concern would be if he's placed in the downtown jail for conduct that occurred prior to his 17th birthday. I think there may be a legal issue with that. Irrespective of his age. Because child is defined in, I think it's section 5102.
Yes.
Because he's 17 and 18 for conduct that occurred prior to his 17th birthday. I think it is required that he stays in the juvenile detention facility.
No, there's a requirement. If they're under 17, they stay here. If they're 18, they have to go downtown. 17 is not addressed.
Well, I think a child has to stay in the juvenile detention facility in the way in which 5102 defines child, he would be within that definition.
I mean, I'll sit down and talk to you about it, but
Yeah.
I've sat down with
I'll take a
several
look.
people and looked at it. There's a gap there in 17 where it gives court discretion either way.
All right.
So
I'll take a look. If I find anything, I will try and get with the court within 72 hours.
all right, thank you. And otherwise, I don't think actually on this, I don't think he's entitled to counsel either, other than the detention hearing. So, you know, you'll remain on for the limited scope of the detention hearings only.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to do the 10 days, even though he's in the downtown, if he's in the downtown jail.
Understood.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jose Torres.
Is there?
All right, Mr. Torres, I'm Judge Kim. This is an attorney requested detention hearing. If I decide to detain you today, then you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here, and you have the right to remain silent. Mr. Masek,
Yes, Your Honor.
you requested this hearing.
Yes, I did, Your Honor. My client did request that I try to get him out. Once he reached level 1, he reached level 1 on September 10th. He has some pending cases. I think the most serious is that was an assault against his mother. But his mother's here and she's talked to me and she can talk to you as well.
Stuff you got to make a promise, Mr. Torres?
No.
Got to make a deal with Mr. Torres? Okay. This is the one you're beating up your little brother, your 7-year-old brother and 4-year-old brother over an Xbox.
Well, he didn't beat.
No, that's right. They used up his Xbox credit. And then the THC oil. All right, Mom, talk to me.
Sorry, George, what is the information that you need from Mom?
I'm just wondering, like, Mr. Masek is saying that, like, Mr. Masek, what, are you asking to release him just because he's level 1-0?
Yes, Your Honor, and he has no prior history other than the things pending right now. And Mom is willing to take him back. Now, she speaks Spanish only, and I think somebody's there to help out.
Sí, yo le dije al abogado que yo sí permito que regrese, pero que necesito que él es muy agresivo, necesito que él tome clases de agradecimiento, porque él es muy agresivo conmigo. Entonces, sí, él, okay.
She's mother is reporting that she's willing to take him, but she wants for him to have some anger management classes because he is aggressive.
Se enoja conmigo como 10 veces al día.
She says that Jose gets upset at Mom, aggressive 10 times a day, about 10 times a day.
When's the last time you saw a mental health doctor?
¿Cuándo fue la última vez que ha tenido, si ha ido al hospital o algo mentalmente para algo mental?
¿Él?
José.
Él no es José,
Oh, pero...
José. Él sí fue a Cooks cuando él tenía 13 años.
He went to Cook's Children's Hospital when he was 13 years
Por
old.
una semana por agresimiento.
For a week for aggression issues.
Did he receive a prescription?
Recibió medicamento.
Sí recibió medicamento.
Sí lo tomó.
Sí lo tomó.
Yes, he was on prescription medication.
Okay. Does she know that children are supposed to see their mental health doctor every 6 weeks?
Que si sabe usted que él tenía que ver cada 6 meses.
Es que su doctor particular ya no me dijo nada, ya solamente me dijo que él necesitaba pensar que hay reglas y él tiene que saber que hay reglas, por eso ya no me dijo que ya no regresara.
So her doctor didn't give her the indication that there was a follow-up to be needed. And so the doctor told her that that Jose needed just to know how to make better decisions.
I think I agree with that doctor. All right, Jose, so here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and release you. I'm going to release you on electronic monitor and with a drug patch. So If you continue to use any marijuana, you're just going to come back here or any other controlled substance. All right.
Yes,
Is that a problem?
No, no, sir, no, sir.
Okay. I'm also putting the electronic monitor on you because I don't want you to go out because I think you're disrespecting your mom. And so you need to follow her rules. And if we find out that you're being abusive or disrespectful to your mom, I'm just going to bring you back here. You know what it takes to get to level 1-0 back here, right?
Yes, sir.
So I need you to be level 1-0 at home. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you can't be level 1-0 at home, then I bring you back here and make you prove it again, and we just go back and forth. Or you just go home, respect your mom, even if you don't like it, just like here with our detention officers, right? You don't like what they're telling you, but you just do it because that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's the same thing with your mom. You don't like what she's saying, but you do it because that's what you're supposed to do. As long as you do that, you and I will have no problems. This will be a very easy probation.
Okay.
Don't smoke weed, listen to your mom. Now, if you break any of those, it's going to be a very difficult, well, the next, I think you're 15, right? Go almost 16?
I'm 16 years old.
16, all right.
Okay,
So this is going to be a very
16.
difficult next 3 years of your life. So either you can do it quickly and just be done with it, or you can fight it, and we do this all the way to 2023, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Richard Vargas.
Ian.
All right, Mr. Vargas, I'm Judge Kim. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I've decided whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to attorney. Mr. Adler was appointed as your attorney. All right, so you were back here in May for family violence. You got deferred prosecution. And so then in July, you were brought in by Grapevine PD for possession of controlled substance. Mom said she, at 12:30 in the morning, she smelled weed coming from her bedroom, went in there, found you in the bathroom with a vape pen, and you denied vaping and said the pen wasn't yours, but it was in your hand. It's like, the Shadniji, you've heard of the famous, those weren't my pants defense, right?
Say that what, Judge?
The famous, those weren't my pants defense?
No.
You ever find like that? They got drugs in their pants, like, oh, those weren't my pants. I just put on somebody else's pants. All right, so mom took the pen, searched the room, found THC oil. Richard's still denying it. Wouldn't say where it's from. Mom called the police and refused to answer anything. 526 grams. Dang, son. That's a lot. All right. And then there's another report from July where evidently there's a drug deal gone bad and somebody's shooting towards you. Man. All right, so we were letting you out anyways. And then yesterday or this morning you were referred by Grapevine PD. You're saying yesterday about almost midnight, police officers were dispatched for a domestic between son and dad. When they got there, Dad said Richard was out of control over a phone being taken away. Richard pushed his father, scratched his father's neck, leaving marks. Father grabbed his son and held him at a distance so he couldn't scratch him. And he refused to talk to police again. Well, all right, Richard. You can't follow the rules. You can't follow the rules. Did we give him a drug test?
Yes, Your Honor. He was positive when he was tested when he was brought in for THC.
Whoa. Go fancy that. All right, so.
I'm inside, Judge King.
Are you going to lie to me?
No, Judge, y'all just got to compare my levels to my last drug test. I haven't been smoking. Y'all just got to compare my levels.
Then what that tells me is while you had a case pending, you were smoking nonstop every day. So that just makes it worse.
But I ain't been smoking since I was home.
Look, Richard, you're not talking way out of this one. I can't take you home because you don't follow the rules. So at this point, I'm going to detain you. We're going to visit you at the 10-day and see how you're doing here. But at this point, if you're not going to respect you're wasting your parents' time, you're wasting Grapevine Police's time, you're wasting my time, you're wasting your dad's time. I mean, honestly, figure it out. Either you follow the rules or you don't. And if you don't, you're looking at going away to TJJD for a long time. So if that's what you want, I mean, you're on the right track. You got your foot on the accelerator all the way. heading straight to TJJD and then TDC. So if that's the life you want, then that's the life you want. Not the one I want. Not the one that your dad wants for you. So it's really that simple. When you're a kid, you got to follow the rules. You got to listen to your parents. When you're an adult, you can do what you want, and then you have kids who then try and do the same thing that you're doing to your dad. At this point, it's your decision, Richard. Either you follow the rules. I'm sorry, yeah, Richard. Either you follow the rules or you don't follow the rules. It's really just that simple, right? So, anyways, yeah, I could detain you. I mean, you can't be there. I still have you positive for weed. I have you fighting your dad. And this is the thing, if you're used to smoke that much weed where you're still residual and you're still testing positive, you want to do everything that you can not to get arrested again. Yes, Dad.
¿Usted me puede ayudar a interpretar, por favor?
Your Honor, I had somebody who was going to help interpret, but that went through. They couldn't log in.
Oh, no, we have an interpreter here.
Okay. También en el probation decían que no podía entrar nadie a la casa.
So Dad is saying that in his current probation terms, other kids on probation were not allowed. Estaban en probación también.
Él estaba en probación.
Los otros niños.
No, nomás él.
Okay.
Pero él metió a una persona y le hizo un tatu sin autorización.
Oh, so Dad's saying that there was another child that came into the house and Richard made a tattoo on the other kid's forearm.
Richard, now you're drawing ink for other people.
At Richard. Another kid went to the home and made a tattoo on Richard.
Oh, Richard has the tattoo. What's his tattoo of? Tribal. I want barbed wire on the arm.
Just across.
Across. Richard, you're a Christian?
I got it from my dead homeboy.
Your dead homeboys.
Yeah, I saw him get killed.
No, no lo conozco el que le hizo el tatuaje.
Dad does not know the other person.
Yeah. Yeah. Richard, you were doing everything wrong. Your dad give you permission for the tattoo?
No, sir.
No.
Your dad give you permission for the tattoo, Richard?
No, sir.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Either you're respecting your parents and following the rules or you're not. If you're not going to, you're just going to stay here at Kimbo. I mean, you can't win this fight. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like you're trying to do what you think is right. You're doing what you want to do. You want to do that, hire a lawyer, right? File papers for emancipation where you're on your own. You can do your own thing. There's a process for that. But unless you do that, if you're going to do something, go all in, right? Divorce your parents, get emancipated, and you can make these decisions by yourself. But if you're not going to do that, then you're not going to do that. Don't try and be your own man and make these big, tough decisions for yourself by getting tattoos for your homeboys, right? When you're still leeching off your parents, when they're paying your rent, buying your food, buying your clothes, giving you a bed, man, all you're doing is mooching off your parents and then acting like a tough guy. Quit it. Either man up and be a man or be a kid. Don't be in between. Don't try and skate both sides and just be a mooch off your parents and still disrespect them. I'm not going to help them. I'm not going to help you do that. Right? So, yes, a lot of thinking to do about right now. So, anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and detain you. We'll see you at the 10-day hearing. But at this point, I've given you so many chances, I'm almost tired of it. All right, so the rest of my 10-day hearings, except for that first one for the CPS hearing, I believe it's Hauser. So Judge Porter's going to take over, and then I'll be back for Hauser. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
All right, Elijah Garcia, are you Mr. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Mooney, is here to represent and advise you. Your level 3-0 in the back for inappropriate computer use yesterday. Obviously, you can't follow the rules in detention. So I'm not convinced that you'll follow the rules if I were to release you. I believe you to be a danger to yourself or others, so you're ordered detained. Thank you, sir. All right, Martin Herrera. Are you Mr. Herrera?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Herrera, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge every 10 business days if you're initially detained. You have the right to an attorney. You also have the right to remain silent. Ms. McGonigal, your attorney, is Ms. McGonigal still here?
I'm here, Your Honor. My
right.
video has been dismantled by Judge Kim.
All right. Mr. Herrera, you're at level 3-0 in the back for, among other things, refusing to do your schoolwork. Doing your schoolwork is the easy thing to do in the back. Obeying the rules is the easy thing to do. If you're not going to do your schoolwork in the back, if you're not going to obey the rules in the back, you're not going to do your schoolwork if I were to release you. You're not going to follow the rules if I were to release you. Accordingly, I believe you are a danger to yourself or others. You're ordered detained.
Sir, can I say something, Mr. Porter?
Go ahead.
For Martin's schoolwork, it has to be modified because he's in a special program when he was out of detention in regular school. So it might be that he's having a very, not that I'm making excuses, but if his work's not modified with the 4th IZ, there's going to be issues with him having a hard time doing work. I just want to point that out.
All right.
And I've been trying to get a hold of his lawyer for 4 times already within the past week. And I have not got a call back or a response. Just because I'm a parent that likes to be fully involved, and I don't understand what's going on as to why he's a minor. I feel like the lawyer should be contacting me if I leave voice messages, because I'm needing to know like what's going to be the future step once he completes his 24 days, because he got an automatic 24 days from Judge Terry, when he first went in.
Oh.
But, I mean,
because of his
the cussing and the his behavior.
Okay, well, Ms.
Because I
McGonigal.
want to discuss my opinion.
All right. Well, I
wanted to
appreciate that.
express that.
I appreciate that, Ms. Moreno. Your son is ordered detained, if for no other reason than the way he conducted himself before Judge Terry. Ms. McGonigal, I am sure, absolutely certain, that you will return the mother's call before the end of the business day. Thank you, everyone. Moving on. Elizabeth Carroll has waived her detention hearing. So Austin Oates. Austin, we've met. My name's Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Is Rafael Sierra here? Yes,
He was on here.
Thank you, Mr. Sierra. All right, Austin, level 3 in the back for punching a wall, among other things. If you're going to punch walls in the back, if you're going to punch walls at home, if I were to release you, that makes you a danger to yourself or others. So you're ordered detained.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May I be excused, Judge?
Thank you, Mr. Sierra. Good to
Yes,
see
sir. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Beaver. All right.
Your Honor, we're getting Mr. Rojas up. He is confined in his room.
I understand. He had a little problem with weapons in his room, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Mr. Williams available if you'd like to skip him for now.
Yes. Let's go ahead and get Mr. Williams while we're getting Mr. Rosales on deck. Is Ms. Campos here? Who's filling in for Ms. Campos?
Your Honor, I am Van Hook, but I can't get my video going because Judge Kim put me in a breakout room somewhere.
Right, and I can't do it either. did mom ever
Okay.
make it to JPD?
Yes, yes, mom
Okay.
and her brother are here.
Okay, let's get mom in either the parents' room or in my courtroom in front of the computer.
She's right there, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Mr. Williams, we've met this morning. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Your attorney, Ms. McGonigal, is here. You're level 1-0 in the back. Ms. McGonigal, when can we get this case set for hearing in front of me?
Well, Mary gave me a setting for the 2nd of October. Due to my schedule of the 25th, I actually have a bench trial, and that was the only other date that she gave me that was available.
Are y'all free? Do you think you could do it this afternoon? Anytime this afternoon?
I have a contested hearing of Judge Kim this afternoon starting at 1:30.
Okay. What about 1 o'clock?
Yeah, it starts at 1:30, so I can do 1 o'clock.
All right. Mom, can you be back here at 1 o'clock?
Yes, I'll be here. I just wait in the lobby.
Awesome. Mr. Williams, for purposes of this hearing, just for right now, I'm going to order that you be detained, and I will see you back at 1 o'clock, okay? All right, we'll see you back at 1 o'clock.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're frozen up.
Kathleen, I'm going to give you a call and see what you all and the DA are going to work out.
All right, Mr. Rosales. Are you Mr. Rosas?
Yo.
Are you Mr.
Yes, sir.
Rosas?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Rosas, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Beaver, is here. You are level 3 confined in the back because they found you with shanks in your room. That is enough evidence to convince me that if I were to release you today, you would be a danger to yourself or others. Accordingly, you're ordered detained.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to turn it back over to Judge Kim.
All right, thank you, Judge Porter. All right, do we still have the people from CPS? And if we can bring back Jeremy?
And Judge, we'll pull in the CPS worker and family right now.
All right, thank you. All right, at this point, given that court proceedings are presumed to be open to the public, however, the Texas Family Code 54.08a provides that a court may close hearings to the public if the court makes a determination for good cause that the public should be excluded due to the sensitive nature of the discussion. The court is finding that it is in the best interest of the child to close these proceedings to the public. So I'm discontinuing the YouTube broadcast. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Wow, Judge Kim, leaving us hanging like that. I thought we saw this kid the other day. Like today, but the other day. Oh. Let me see. I have a very short one, and then I think that'll be it. Just give me one moment to pull it up here. Did Judge Porter seem like he was sped up today? I feel like he did. He seriously was like, oh, I know they're crafty. I don't doubt it, but well, it seems, I don't.
Days, so I'm reviewing your case to
Whoa,
decide whether
Judge
to let
Kim,
you go or to
I'm not ready yet.
If I keep you.
I'm not ready. Everybody talking about AOL and all the internet from before, I totally remember. I loved it all and I miss it in a way. But I think that's why I love YouTube chat so much. It's very reminiscent of like my early 2000s Yahoo chat rooms. Oh my. Okay. We got one more.
Here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Adler, who's your present. Okay. All right, so Emilia, you're 14 years old.
Yes.
You're on probation for felony indecency and burglary of a building. Let's see. So back in July, you left the home unsupervised and violated the court's safety plan. And you're supposed to have a chaperone in any public place at all time. And see, Mom told us that you've been leaving the house at night when she goes to bed. She knows that you go to a friend's house to get high. It said on July 15th, you left, didn't come back till 5 in the morning. On the 17th, when we brought you in, you tested positive for marijuana. So, all right, you weren't making much progress in counseling. And so, let's see, you've done residential drug treatment. We're looking for a place. So, Mr. Jones, have we found a place that will accept him?
Yes, Your Honor. He has found, the placement unit has found a placement that has accepted him, and there is.
Are we just in a waiting period then?
Well, there is a bed available, so we're just waiting on his hearing, I guess, on the 7th.
So we have 2 more weeks. Mr. Who is talking right now?
Is Mom out of jail? Is there anyone to take my client back home?
Wait, Edwin, what do you, hold on. Edwin, what is going on?
I don't know, I'm not talking.
Jorge, who was talking to you?
Your Honor, that it seemed to be like a YouTube video playing in another screen because that conversation was like 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Okay, all right. That makes sense. All right, thank you. All right, so, Mr. Jones, we have placement. We're waiting, the hearing's on the 7th?
Correct.
Okay. All right. All right, well, Emilia, I'm glad you're level 1-0 while you're here. Been here for a while, but it's looking for placement. You understand when you violated the conditions of your release that you had to be supervised because of the nature of your offense, that's a serious condition of the release, all right? So I'm just afraid that if I let you go, you're just gonna go unsupervised back in the community, and I just can't have that, all right? So fortunately, your hearing's just, well, about a week and a half from now, all right? So at that point, we'll go ahead and figure out what's gonna happen with your case, okay? All right, thank you. Yes.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
We're waiting on Mr. Lofton. Okay, I want to go in, if we can we go and skip one, go to Kendrick Giles?
Come on in.
Are you Mr. Giles?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm going to review your case, decide whether to let you go or to keep you here. If I keep you here, You have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. Are the parents for Mr. Giles here?
Yes, Your Honor, they should be out in the lobby, but I don't know if the folks back there know that we skipped one.
Yes, we do. The mother is in the restroom at this time.
Okay. Well,
she'll be in here as soon as possible. Here she comes.
Thank you.
Make sure you can both be seen on the screen.
Okay, Mr. Giles, you're 16 years old. Well, you just turned 16. Your level 1 is standing back there. Your current, wow, Kendrick.
What's your relationship?
Or when you're 12 years old with a theft of property, a runaway case, manufacturing delivery of controlled substance in a drug-free zone. You're still 12 years old. You have a theft of firearm case, which you got for probation for.
Judge, I don't think that's Kendrick.
Kendrick Giles. Right?
Oh, you're going through his, I'm sorry, Judge.
Yeah,
I
this
didn't
is
mean to
history.
interrupt
Yeah,
you.
he's 16
My
now.
fault. Sorry, Judge.
So then he's 14. And then he has an evading arrest with a vehicle, a burglary of habitation 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, an assault, family violence, and a runaway. He's still 14. Gets an evading arrest, another theft of firearm, which he got probation for and placed for. Same time he gets arrested for possession of weed, evading arrest, possession of dangerous drug, possession of a controlled substance. Now, July 29th, Grapevine PD responded to a traffic accident. Oh yeah, so the victim, there's a white Mazda sped by, got in a crash. He came over, helped, put you in his truck. He's saying that then you got in his truck and took off with it. Went through Grapevine, crashed out in South Lake, ran off, hid in an RV. They had to release canine units. And so you're brought over here. Yeah. Kendrick, if I let you go, you're just a danger to the community. You're absolute danger to the community. So I'm going to go ahead and danger to yourself as well. So I'm going to go ahead and keep you detained. Thank you, Mr. Giles. Back on? Okay, we go Lucas Gallegos.
Sorry.
Hello, Mr. Lofton.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Mr. Lofton, sorry about that. I didn't know it
No,
was you.
sir. No, sir. That's not. I apologize to the court.
All right. All right, Mr. Gallegos, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you here, you see a judge every 10 days. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Gallegos, I know you've been here for about 6 months now. You're 16 and a half years old. And so this is, if I'm familiar, you had a friend over and they're saying that there was a plan to rob your mom's boyfriend and he was shot in the head while he was sleeping. Your mom was shot and somebody shot at, I guess, the roommate in the house. And so you were looking at a ag assault deadly weapon offense. 1, 2, 3, 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and a murder, and you're not even level 1. So I think if I release you, that you're just a danger to yourself and to others. And given the level of offense, I'm not certain that you'd appear for court. And you're also level 2, so I don't think you're behaving here either. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. Thank you, Mr. Gallegos. Okay, Caden Kello.
Yes, sir.
All right, Caden, I'm Judge Kim. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Can you repeat the question, please?
How do you say your last name?
Kello?
Kello, all right.
Yes, sir.
So, Ms. Kello, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child is brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Youngblood as your attorney. Mr. Youngblood, can you say something so she can see your screen?
Good morning.
So, okay. All right, so Caden, let's see, you're 16, you've never been here before. Let's see. Arlington arrested you and your mom, Miss Walker, because they had warrants for their arrest related to an incident from August. In August, about 6:30, police were dispatched to a fight involving multiple people. You and your mom had left by the time the police got there. The victim said she went to 7-Eleven with some friends to buy some things when she was attacked by a group of teens and a parent who came in behind them. They identified Patricia Walker as your mom grabbed her by the arm and dragged her outside the store. At the same time, her daughter struck her multiple times. The other suspect kicked the victim as she fell to the ground. Then they left the scene of the vehicle. All right, so is mom currently in jail?
No, I'm present. I'm present.
Oh, you're present. Okay. All right, Miss Walker. So, all right, normally I would ask you questions, but you got arrested for this as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I don't want to implicate you to implicate yourself in a criminal case about this whole thing. All right, so I want you to stay quiet. You have a right to an attorney. I'm not going to ask you any questions about this. Don't talk about what happened to 7-Eleven. Okay, absolutely not, because you can put yourself in a pickle doing this.
Okay.
What I do want to ask is, I'm deeply concerned. I have to assume that these things are true. Does Caden have another parent that can release her to?
The guy that raised her, but not her biological father. No.
Okay, so there is another adult that can take care of her.
Yeah, her dad, Eddie Crossley. He's raised her since she was 1.
Okay, are y'all still together?
No.
Okay, is he willing to take her?
I'm pretty sure, yes, if that's needed.
Okay, so, all right, so Ms. Walker, I hope you understand, given what I see in the report, I'm not comfortable releasing her to you because it's alleged that you two were involved in an assault together, okay? So I just need some more confidence before I can do this. What I would like to do is, I don't want to keep her here. Right? I would like her to release her to another adult, but you understand you're kind of excluded from the picture. During this case, she cannot associate with you, all right?
Okay.
Because right now you're kind of co-defendants,
okay,
for lack of a better term. So if you can get you said Cross was his last name?
Crossley.
Crossley. All right, so if you can get Mr. Crossley to contact Mr. Nava, right? I think he's been talking to you, and we can make sure, and I'm okay releasing her with an electronic monitor to Mr. Crossley to stay with him, and so she can go back her life. But Caden, you have to understand, you cannot keep in contact with your mom, or like you can't be with your mom. I'm okay with phone calls, but that's it. I mean, y'all can talk on the phone, but you don't need to physically be with your mom, okay, until we figure this one out.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Yes, Miss Walker.
Would it be possible, if he's not, to have my mother added as a backup in case he's not available?
Mm-hmm. Any competent adult is fine. I don't mind.
I'll have to add my mother as well. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the important part of my question is, and Mom, you may not have done anything. This may be entirely untrue, but I have to assume that it's true, and I'm deeply concerned about releasing her to you if it is true. So any competent adult that you pick is fine. It just can't be you.
Okay.
All right, and I just apologize for this, but I hope you understand why.
I understand.
So, all right, so Caden, I'm gonna go ahead and sign a release order. Mom, you are here in the building. Mr. Nava can get in touch with you, and then he can get the information, and we can figure out which adult can come and pick her up. Okay?
Your Honor, may I ask Mr. Nava a question, please, sir?
Sure, absolutely, Mr. Youngblood.
Jorge, do you know who the victim is with respect to whether she's somebody who knows either mom or my client and is likely to have any sort of contact with them?
I believe so. I believe they're associated to some degree.
Okay, well, I would think, Your Honor, there would be a no contact provision on that to keep my client out of further problems.
Can you repeat that, Mr. Youngblood?
Mr. Nava says that the supposed victim in this crime is somebody that knows my client and they may associate with one another, and I would think that it would be a good idea for that not to be happening while this case is pending.
All right. Okay.
I don't know what this is all about. Don't know if it happened. Don't know what started it, but I sure don't want it to happen again.
Okay, Caden. So I'm gonna put no contact with the injured party, the victim of the assault or the alleged victim of the assault. And I'm putting only phone contact with P. Walker. Okay? So you cannot hug her, you can only talk to her on the phone. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
I mean,
next we have Alec Rodriguez. All right, are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to an attorney. And I see you have hired Mr. Lewis as your attorney.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, so Alec, I see you're 17 years old.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. You're on probation for possession of controlled substance in a drug-free zone. And let's see. Back in August, we extended your probation to your 18th birthday because you have 2 adult possession of a controlled substance charges that you were arrested for in May. These are still pending. You were placed on the residential treatment list at TYRC because you continue to use drugs while an outpatient. We gave you a drug test yesterday and testing positive for weed. All right, so you turned yourself in with your mom yesterday because you knew there was a DTA or curfew violations.
Yes, sir.
Back in September, you were arrested by Grapevine PD for possession of controlled substance under a gram. Mom bailed you out. And then mom said that police notified her of the arrest at 4:30 in the morning. And she didn't even know you're outside the house. So now you have 3 pending adult charges for drugs. All right, Ms. Hall.
Yes, sir.
So we're trying to get him TYRC inpatient treatment. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. He's on the waiting list and there's a 1 to 3 week wait.
And how long is the program?
45 to 60 days.
And for what drugs are we talking about?
He was arrested again for another possession of a controlled substance. Because it's an adult case, I don't know what the controlled substance was.
Mr. Lewis, do you represent him on the adult cases?
I do, Judge.
Okay, what are what substances are we talking about?
Judge, it was possession of marijuana. The controlled substance, let me check that.
I'm just wondering if it's vape oil, like THC, or consumables.
Yes. Yes, Judge.
Okay, so there's no meth, heroin, cocaine?
No, Judge, nothing on that level.
So here's the deal. Honestly, I have yet to see any kind of study that says any kind of treatment for marijuana works. Marijuana is a choice, it's not an addiction, okay? And so the best treatment programs for marijuana use actually has a 1-year sobriety rate of around 28%. That's the best program, okay? So 3 out of 4 people that go through treatment for marijuana end up using marijuana again. And it shows that treatment just doesn't work. So I'm just not convinced that TYRC is the right thing. Mr. Lewis, how are these adult cases, like, can you tell me any idea if they're gonna progress? Like what road are they headed down?
Judge, I believe we're gonna be able to resolve it via a misdemeanor possession of marijuana situation.
Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm gonna hold you because I think you just don't care about your probation. I think it's pretty obvious that this court and what we're doing here doesn't mean anything to you. So I don't think we can rehabilitate a child that doesn't want to be rehabilitated. Right? And that's okay. That's your choice. Right? I'm not saying that marijuana is the sin of this. It's not capital murder, but probation is probation. We ask for probation. We expect you, if I give it, I expect you to follow the rules. So here's the thing. I know you have your adult cases. This is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and detain you. I'm gonna have you housed downtown in the adult jail. That'll make it easier for Mr. Lewis to get you moved. to deal with those adult cases. And Ms. Hall will let me know whenever those are wrapped up on how we're going to finish this one. But you're almost done with your juvenile case anyways. You're 16 and a half. Okay, and we can't do anything to you past your 18th birthday anyways. So your bigger issue is your adult felony cases. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Mr. Lewis, do you have any questions for me?
I have nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
It's a weird part of the law. When they're 17, I can house them either in juvenile or an adult. It actually makes it easier to dispose of the adult cases if he's downtown.
Correct.
Okay. All right. All right.
Thank
Thank
Judge
you very much.
Kim,
Yes.
Judge Kim, will he continue to have 10-day detention hearings with us if he's downtown?
Yes. You will still have to do 10-day detention hearings. Mr. Lewis, just to let you know, we do have appointed counsel every day that is standby. So if you're unable to make the 10-day hearing, just let the court know, and there will be an attorney that can substitute for these hearings for you for these 10-day hearings.
Absolutely, Judge.
Yes, Ms. Rodriguez.
My son wanted to say something.
Yes.
I can't. Do you know how? So am I going today?
Oh yeah, yeah. The sheriff will pick you up and take you to the county today.
Okay, and then you didn't want a reason why I had the marijuana, right?
I don't want to reason that what?
You didn't ask for a reason why I had the marijuana, right?
Well,
it's just.
Hold on. I don't want you to get yourself. Don't put yourself in a spot. Don't make your attorney have any harder. Here's the thing. I'm looking at you get arrested 3 times for more drug charges while you're on probation for a drug charge. And more than that, you're testing positive for drugs while you're on probation. Like, you have to understand, probation is you're telling me that you're giving me your word that you can be good and follow the rules, and that's why you're getting a chance of probation. You can't follow the rules. You're telling me that, there's nothing I can do. Now, so I know you raise your hand. If you're going to tell me something that can get you in trouble and make your attorney's job harder, if you want to ask me something, then that's probably okay because I can just give you information. All right. So do you need to tell me something or do you want to ask me something?
I'll just wait.
Okay. That's probably a good idea. I think your attorney appreciates that. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Can you get that one ready yet? We can put that one downtown. All right. So Kevin Valadez. All right. Are you Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when child's brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to have an attorney. You can afford one. Mr. Adler is appointing your attorney until we can figure out if you can afford one or not. All right, is the parent here?
No, Judge. His mother's in the hospital.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. So, Kevin, you turn 17, I think Friday. And then you barely escaped an adult charge. See, Darwin Gardens brought you in for possession. We're going to report about 2:20 in the morning. Officer was on patrol when he saw a vehicle in a parking lot that was not there the last time he went by. Saw somebody in the driver's seat with the vehicle running. They ran the tag. The vehicle was stolen from Irving. They found 3 people in there. Kevin was in the front passenger seat. When you pat him down, there was a Pringles can with 2 baggies of marijuana and a digital scale in your front pocket, and 2 lighter and cigarillo packs were in the right front pocket. And you did DPP for criminal trespass. All right, Ms. Guerrero, does Kevin live in Dallas County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we know why his mom is in the hospital?
Judge, just what I'm able to read through the notes, it sounds like his mother is in the hospital and she's under a ventilator. I don't have a number for stepdad. I know that he called, so I'm going to figure out a number for stepdad so I can talk to him.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So, Kevin, here's the deal. Somehow you end up in Tarrant County. I don't know why. Things are not as easy in Tarrant County as Dallas County. Your attorney, Mr. Adler, can tell you this because he practices in both. I know I'm not going to say tougher. I'm stricter than the judges in Dallas County. All right. So here's the thing. I don't have a parent to release you to, so I'm going to keep you. I can't just put a 16-year-old out on the street. I'm not going to do it. All right. I'm not going to have our probation officers drop you off. Hold on. Let me finish. I'll give you a chance. All right. Now, I understand this is a weed case. This is not capital murder. I'm not freaking out over this, but we do have certain things. It's still against the law, which is why you're here. And I still have to follow the law, which means I can't just release you unless I have a competent adult. If your mom is going to be in the hospital kind of long term, you may be here for a while until we can find another adult to release you to. Right? Now, you understand you just barely beat an adult case on this one? Okay?
Yes, sir.
But meanwhile, you're still 16 at the time. Mr. Adler, I think you're a perfect attorney for this because, if Dallas wants us to transfer this over to them, we can do that. I just need an adult. So, Kevin, what did you want to ask me?
Can I call my real dad? I could see if he could come and pick me up.
It's possible. It depends. I would have to know who your real dad is and what his situation is. Right?
Well, I gave them the phone number and the name for my dad.
Okay. Is he on probation?
No.
Or parole?
No.
Okay. Where does he live?
Grand Prairie.
Okay. Yeah, it's a possibility. You have Mr. Adler, you have Ms. Guerrero, we can figure it out. Like I said, I don't want to keep you here. It's a weed case, but I can't just let you out on the street.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Devin Thomas. Oh, hold off. Don't bring the child in yet. All right. Thank you, Mary. So we've been broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube to comply with the Open Courts Act. However, under Texas Family Code 54.08C, when a child's under 14 years old, the court shall close the hearings to the public unless the court finds the best interest of the child or the interest of the public would be better.
The court shall close the hearings to the public, Judge Kim says. Thanks, Judge Kim. Appreciate that. You guys, I appreciate all of you being here. It's been almost 4 hours. Time flies when you're having fun, when you're hanging out in my kitchen, having a great time. I appreciate y'all coming, and I will have some new stuff going next week. I have a few new series I'm going to be doing that are longer form where we can be chatting all night. And also, I have some recipes to be trying next week that I'm excited to work on. So, along with my regular court watching duties all day, every day, live as usual, y'all know that. But I'm trying to think here. I really love this picture that Miss Guerrero has on her wall. I always look at it. And again, we remember that these cases are ones that we're watching that are from back in 2020. These parents, a lot of them don't have the abilities that we wish they might have, and that relate or results in this happening sometimes. I think we can all use these hearings as opportunities to try and make ourselves better, even in just a little bit of a way. That's really what my hope and goal is. Like it's about trying our best and learning together. So I said duties. You guys are great. I love you all so much. I hope everyone has a really great Saturday or Sunday and a safe weekend. I will be back with you all come Monday, and I am excited for another week of court. I have been dancing around my kitchen many, many times because I am up to like 663 subscribers. Thank you, each and every one of you. And I appreciate all of you guys who take the time to chat, to like, to subscribe, to comment, to just come by the kitchen. It means a lot, and I am glad that I can be here and hear what's going on in your guys' lives because it means a lot to me too. Anyways, all right. And I will be having to obviously talk to Streamlabs later about how mean they're being to some of you, LOL, in the chat. look up Big Eye Art. If I like that piece, I might indeed. I might indeed. Okay. Well, you guys know what time it is. It's time to close this kitchen to the public. Please leave 20 seconds for the tape to burn off. And thank you for coming to Kitchen Court Cases. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye.